Hello, I'm Stephen Bucky Mason, and I'm rubbing my hands at the start of this. That didn't go very well, but I am joined once again with Lou O'Carl himself.
Reach.
And today we're doing Blade, and we're pressing play on 3, 2, 1, play. Right, so Blade has just come out on Blu-ray as a box set. I know it's been out for a long time, but the box set has just been released last Monday. I never owned this on Blu-ray until I picked it up. Box set's quite cheap, it's £20. And this looks fucking phenomenal on Blu-ray.
Well, I've actually only got the first one, and to be honest with you, it's probably one of the, not so much now, but it was one of the more sought-out steelbooks out there. I mean, the second one and third one still is, but it was weird because this one came out, it was really hard to get on steelbook unless you were willing to pay like eBay prices. And then I think I found it one day, and it was probably I think about 12, 13 quid. And I think they must have reissued it, so obviously it's another print. But it's one of the first Marvel films I watched, on the big screen.
This was fucking huge, man. I mean, props off to this because at the end of the day, back in the day, you couldn't fucking see shit on VHS, and the red font looked fucking appalling. Red font, it only looks good in high definition, and VHS, it looks terrible.
Yeah. Well, like I say, without going too ahead of it, but even the end, I think the end was always quite lacking because of how dark it was. And like I say, I feel like this does really kind of proper pop. It proper push it out there, so.
I mean, there's I think when I listened to the audio commentary, one of the director of photography was very passionate about the print and spending money, and there was a bit of problems with how much money they were going to spend on the print because the print was they were going to make America's prints better than Middle Eastern or something like that, and it's all about the colour black and the chemical mixture and stuff like that.
Right. Well, the thing is, you say like that, but then also talking about the actual making of the film, it certainly wasn't easy. I know Stephen Norrington was apparently a bit of a nightmare to get along with, so.
He's disappeared now. I just want to point something out before you start talking loads. Time-lapsing, man, start. What's fucking class? But you're right, yeah, Stephen Norrington, obviously, he did Legal Extraordinary Gentleman, and that was it, wasn't it?
Yeah.
Legal Gentleman, yeah. That was it, done.
But no, this is definitely, would you class it like an underrated film?
What this?
I feel like it's kind of, I feel like it's somewhat getting forgotten about, and then whenever someone mentions Blade, despite that I might be in the minority, but they always mention how the third one, it wasn't as successful, it wasn't even close to what the first two did.
Right,
I always feel like it's a bit of a shame because this is an awesome film, and I always feel like everyone always just remembers the third one.
That the woman here shouting at her boyfriend. That's her boyfriend. He looks like the baddie. He looks like the baddie from The Mask.
He looks like he could be a big actor in himself, doesn't he? He looks like he's quite got some screen presence.
No, I think Blade caught everyone off by guard. Everyone always talks about how you meet an audience that either love the first two Batmans and they hate the last two, or they hate the first two Batmans and love the first two. And this is like a resurgence of Blade. Spawn, I think, was a little bit of a misfire, and this came along and just hit it nail on perfect. You know what I mean? It was all about the time, the rise in films and special effects, and it's a cool vampire film. It again, this has obviously got a lot of homage, I think, to the Lost Boys as well, and as well as here, this song that is playing in the background, which I hate my life for not remembering what it's called, was a massive dance song when it was remixed as Voodoo, because the original track is just the same beat all the way through, and it wasn't until you got that Bass in the Place London remix that it became an absolute floor filler. But again, this one was cool, and I think one of the things that doesn't get enough credit for this movie is fucking Wesley Snipes fucking owns Blade.
Yes. Yeah, definitely. I mean, when you consider what he's done up to now, he's always had good presence, but he's always been kind of snarky. He's always been a little bit kind of sarcastic and all this and the other. And he kind of has that in this film.
It's going back to Simon Phoenix, isn't it? It's going back to Simon
definitely,
Phoenix, the anti-fucking hero that Simon Phoenix was. You know what I mean? His transition. I mean, there's Stephen Dorff there. I mean, he just embodies the Lost Boys right there.
Yeah.
Quite a big role for him as well, because he gets his name above Blade, and as I checked your steelbook before, he gets his name underneath the title on the steelbook.
Yeah. Well, to be honest with you, I mean, I'd probably say I'd have to IMDb it, like, but there's not an awful lot I've seen Stephen Dorff in, like.
He was on the rise. He was definitely on the rise. He was in, obviously, recently I watched Judgment Night. That was a couple of years before this. He was on the rise with stuff like City of Industry, Space Truckers was hitting big and all that. He was, to me personally, a discount version of Christian Slater. Here Comes the Bloodbath. It's very interesting here as well, because this is filmed not with strobe lights, but it looks like Shaw's lights, but apparently they had a lot to do with shutter speed. But if they were to do this now, it would all be CGI.
Yeah, definitely, yeah.
No, but Stephen Dorff was on a rise. I think he peaked at this bit. I personally think he peaked. And then he sort of had a downward spiral, I think. And, you know, he has been in a lot of low-budget films since then, like so. But, again, continues to work a lot, so...
Yeah.
God, it's just fucking... I mean, everyone wanted that. I mean, back in the day as well, like, you had foam parties, fucking popcorn parties... You know what I mean? It was kind of like just like a gimmick night, but it just totally makes sense that vampires would go to a rave and it'd be a bloodbath.
Well, true, but then do you not think it's a little bit like... I mean, it could just be that it's total mayhem right now, but is it not like a little bit short on the meat? Because, I mean, why would you have such a large gathering and he is literally the only bait? It's a bit... I found that a little bit weird. I would expect to see at least a couple of people like panicking themselves, but like it just feel like the entire room is all vampires except that one guy.
One guy's, it could be familiars and all that, but I think, I mean, again, it's just an introduction into the world, isn't he? That's what he's designed to be like.
It's a great introduction, don't get me wrong, yeah.
He's proper, but again, he's proper.
Just...
Like, it's just the music, the tone, but again, that's that reveal of Blade, it's his class. But I totally with his snapback Kangol cap, you know what I mean? It's just the evidence of 90s.
Yeah.
Just the colour, I mean, again, light and colour, especially with Wesley being black as well. I mean, he has got, like, I mean, look how white his teeth look, bless him. But, like, again, that's what I was going on about with the director of photography, saying, how do you light stuff like this? Because you've got ceilings and stuff like that. And, again, you're talking, like, proper... But he would go with the special effects, and then the music kicks up again. It's just... It's in charge by the techno mix.
Yeah.
But we didn't see shit like this. I mean, again, this was before Matrix, wasn't it?
Yeah, it has to be.
Matrix was, like, the same, like, I think later on that year or the year... You know what I mean? So Wesley Snipes is rocking it, man.
Well, this is 98.
Yeah, so it predates Matrix.
Yeah, definitely. That's awesome.
Yeah, the wipes
I mean, he literally is the only person who's going to pull all this off with Wesley Snipes at the time.
Oh, he's totally believable.
I mean, if you consider what it is and who's up there right now, there's nobody else playing Blade. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
It's not even like the option of like 5 or 6.
Well, originally it was going to be LL Cool J, wasn't it? That was the first. That's where the original treatment came from.
Yeah.
But no, he is.
Too big for it.
Oh, Wesley Snipes, man, he's just... I mean, he is a really good actor. I mean, him as Neo Black and stuff like that, when he puts in a dramatic performance, he's mint. But when he takes it on the action, like, when he takes it on action, I'm going to rephrase that, in big budget movies, he's shit hot. When it's low budget and stuff like The Marksman and stuff like that, when he just cashes it in, it's just like... That's why he was great to see him in Expendables, because he knew what he was up for. The actor there with the gingerness, he's been in quite a lot of films as well.
You know what it is? He actually does quite a family-friendly sitcom, which is where I originally saw him. But if you think of movies, just because this is like obviously a comic book movie, it always goes back to the fact that he plays Knight Rider. Is it Knight Rider? Not Knight Rider. That's a completely different person.
I don't like that
Ghost
smile.
Rider. He plays Ghost Rider's best mate. So I always kind of remember him for that.
Well, he's also in Gotham, isn't he?
Yeah, well, he's in Gotham. He does a hell of, honestly, just even if you have to YouTube the scenes, he did a hell of a character for Sons of Anarchy. He like kind of he takes a very very unique approach to what his character's supposed to be.
He's also in Max Payne.
I've never actually seen that. You know, I've never seen Max Payne. I
It's
feel like
fucking weird, Max Payne. You can have it. You can have it on Blu-ray.
Not to watch it.
You can have it.
Well, I feel like it's the only film I've actually sat and said, because of the reviews and because what people say about it, I won't watch it. Because that's very rare with me. Sometimes that makes me want to watch films more.
Fucking crazy aliens and shit. No, aliens, devils.
Yeah.
There's a couple of things.
I only played the first game.
Oh no! But at the end of the day, what you don't remember in the fucking first game is fucking flying devils and stuff like that.
Yeah.
Just to point out a few things there. For how hard hitting the movie is. Now, by the way, I just want to point out, because you can see what the fuck's going on Blu-ray, you can actually see Wesley Snipes escaping above the downward shot coming up here, which I just did not remember because of VHS. You wouldn't have fucking seen him. It's coming right there. You go. We've gone.
Yeah.
To totally honestly, it's that good on Blu-ray. A couple of things. Wesley Snipes' cheeky little smile when he jumps up for the boomerang thing, and then the Corey Feldman from The Burbs. Yes, I think like it opens up a door for a very, I don't know. It opens a door to a completely like, what's this character gonna do? Do you know what I mean? Because like he's coming there all serious, but then he's hyped. And it's quite, I mean, it's got, honestly, one of the bits coming up here when he goes, "Motherfucker, are you out your mind?" when he gets shot. It's just, and the cops run away. Again, it's that inflection in very small doses of comedy that works this film so well.
It's something up with the camera work here. I feel like are we a bit too close? I know it sounds really weird, but I'm hoping you're picking either something up or I'm not getting it. But this feels like it's like widescreen but zoomed in. It almost feels like, I don't know, almost like fisheye slightly.
Well, I think there's a lot of style in this movie. Again, with the whole, you know what I mean. Anyone can do a time lapse now on the phone, and this movie really like mainstream time lapse. I think it's anamorphic. You're looking for like the John Carpenter look, but then it's sort of like, as you've just said there, when they were looking at his gnashes, it's very up close and flat. But normally one DP sticks to that. But I think as well, what they had to try with this movie as well is, again, the amount of special effects that we're bringing into this. They've had to film it in certain ways.
Yeah. I do like it though. I feel like it's working for it. I mean, like I said, I think maybe if I have to take a guess, I've maybe seen this film 3 times.
I went to the pictures to see this on the Sneak, man. I went to the pictures to see Sneaky.
Were you even old enough to see this, Mist?
What year did you say it was?
So it was 98.
98. So I would have been 16. So I would have I went to see stuff like Face Off, and stuff at the Concert Pictures. Didn't give a fuck back in the day, man.
Nah, of course you didn't. Nah. Well, we were laughing because we were talking about it the other day. Like, it was literally like, now, I mean, obviously, even now, I think they don't really care that much. But it was like so simple to go to the cinema with a friend who was old enough. They would literally buy the tickets, and that was it. There was no technique. You didn't have to sneak in or anything like that. It was just like, as long as the person who bought the tickets was believable. Oh, mate, it was
never questioned who they were. Hard business, but now, man, because people's wearing masks. How old are you? Like, that's all right. Yeah, everything's got a mask on. I can't fucking tell.
I like the idea of living in a world where, you know, literally you can just take whatever you want in the cinema now, food-wise, and nobody bats an eyelid.
I just want to point out here, I think his looks really terrifying with his eyes, but on the audio commentary, they're on about how the actor dislocated his jaw in this scene and they had to take him to hospital.
Oh, really?
Such dark fucking... Again, like, I think Underworld borrowed a lot from this movie in terms of look. This bit here is fucking class.
Yes, yeah.
Motherfucker, you out your mind?
And again, he's in a practical suit there, being all burnt and shit, where, like I say, it's almost going to become more popular than the whole It's Just a Movie. But at the same time, it goes back to, in this day and age, that would have been CGI.
Yeah.
You know what I mean?
Now, it gives you a flashback of his mother, which I find funny because he didn't see that camera angle, did he?
Fair enough.
I find her quite pretty, but I haven't seen her in anything since.
Yeah, I'm gonna say I've just got a couple of IMDb's. I've just obviously I know that something pops up a lot, but the lassie I don't think she has done much. Interesting name though. I want to say maybe it's N Bush. It literally is the letter N and then B.
Oh yeah. That was named straight at the front, like an N, and so yeah. This bit's a bit
Bush
weird.
Wright.
Imagine chucking someone out the window like that. Doink.
She didn't Dead President play.
That's an amazing film, that, but it's too fucking long.
Aye.
Hughes Brothers.
But is she still working? That is the question. Not really. 2018 was our last credit, so she might be just taking a while off.
And setting it up here later on. Dislocated. Obviously, someone like Lethal Weapon. This guy here with probably an M16, I want to say, is fucking far too trigger happy. I mean, look, clearly he's just like, right, I've got to let this tonight. He fucking unloads a whole clip on that, man. Still fucking can.
Listen, man, he's getting too old for this shit.
Yeah.
Nice bit of colour in the sky there. There's not much going on, but it's like that purple kind of blue.
Again,
just gone with something very straightforward, but they didn't. They went with something a little bit more arty.
Very Dutch angles and stuff like that. Very obscure.
Yeah.
I mean, the camera work when he's driving, especially when he's chasing the copper in a bit, it's like over cranked and fast up, and you're like, what the fuck?
But this is it. This is, to me, I mean, if I didn't know that they were going for a particular style, that would have like. I mean, I can't really remember thinking too much about it the first time I ever saw it, but I would have been sitting there going, shit, am I got this correct, you know?
We're not
a DVD player, when you can zoom in, it was just like, there was never any good reason to have you to zoom in. But,
yeah, I mean, we'll end up doing the trilogy at this point, but I'm going to say, like, I think that's one thing Blade suffered from as well, because, like, Guillermo del Toro came along for number 2, and yes, it was a massive breakout for him, coming off Mimic.
Yeah.
And obviously that's why, I mean, we got Hellboy looking the way Hellboy did. And then you've got David S. Goya's film debut for the third one, I think it is. And then you've got, you know what I mean? Don't get us wrong, he's been involved in a lot of stuff. He's involved in The Dark Knight and whatever. All the films lose the style from the first one, I think.
Yeah, to be honest with you, with the second one, I felt that there was a whole new universe that could have explored a bit more. I mean, I'm not really big on the whole, let's do a spin-off of every individual character. But if they were going to do that with one person in this film, or at least in the second one as well, Danny John Jules, I quite liked the idea of his character, and I don't think we got like enough of him, in my opinion, to...
Danny John Jules is someone, if you go on to IMDb and you go down his IMDb credits... it's fucking mental to think there's so many films he was in and you just don't remember him. Lock, Stock and Two Smoking Barrels, Labyrinth, Little Shop of Horrors. I mean, he's worked so much, because even when he was hired for the promo for the tournament, you know what I mean, he came up for a day's work, shot at guns, you know what I mean, and you know what I mean. But again, he seems to have hit the glass ceiling so many times in Hollywood but never broke through.
I think, like, I don't know if he's maybe, if because of all the stuff he's done, I wonder if that's just kind of like the career he was going for.
Oh,
you know,
yeah.
People just like to be busy and just think, I love being like kind of I'm on screen enough for people to notice me, but I'm not going to draw any attention.
Oh, if you can make a living, yeah, totally agree with you, mate.
When I chatted with him at Newcastle, such a nice guy, like, and like I say, it was so like, so welcoming just to literally chat about shit, and I think he was talking about doing a comic book that he wanted to do and stuff like that. So, like I say, it seems like he's got his finger in a lot of pies.
Well, we unfortunately couldn't get him back for the tournament because he's in the promo, so he's obviously in my music video. That's how he ended up on there, because of the tournament. But we, unfortunately, because of the scheduling conflicts, we couldn't even get him for a couple of days. He was going to be in the film, and then obviously we rescheduled the film shoot about 4 different times. And then eventually, you know, he just didn't make a cameo in the film, which was a shame because, like, I think there was only about 3 actors from the promo we didn't get back for the film. So
right, that's not too bad. But obviously, like I say, it's always going to be the question of what if, you know.
Oh yeah. Okay, What If Volume 4 now out to buy. Right, this guy right here. Undo Kerr, I think it's his name. He's been in a fuckload of films. Always plays the creepy, campy guy, but he does it so fucking well. He's in My Own Private Idaho. He's in John Carpenter's Cigarette Burns. More notorious to me, he's the guy in Johnny Mnemonic. Johnny, you almost cut me.
Oh, really?
Well, he's the guy who's like Johnny Mnemonic takes the original job off for. Don't worry, Johnny. But he's totally cool. But he's been in like hundreds of films.
Yeah.
Again, there's a lot of. I'm sure the guy on the other side of the table. No, it's not. I thought he was going to be the guy from Big Trouble in Little China with his Tash.
Right.
Another film that explored this a bit more. The corporation of vampirism's Daybreakers.
Yeah, and that went so under the radar. That literally, I mean, to say top 10 vampire films is like probably enough just about make a top 10.
Yeah.
But I would say it's high up there.
Oh,
I actually really enjoyed that.
Priest as well.
Refreshing.
There was a lot of gaps in between the Blade sequels for films like that to come out. John Carpenter's Vampires, Priest. You know what I mean? People like vampires going all the way back to Nosferatu back in the day. But like from the classic Bela Lugosi's, vampirism sells every time. I think like one thing Blade got right at the right time was it was completely new but a little bit familiar because you know the rules, they're not laid in front of you, and it's just got so much style and just a different approach. I think the problem with Priest, it tries to throw you into this fucking world, and they're all fucking trained killers and all. It's a lot to take in on your first view. And this, Wesley Snipes is half human, half vampire, right? He's like Batman. We get that straight away. These are vampires. They're bad. That's all you need to know. And it's just got so much style about it.
There's something about this film that, like, I don't know if it sounds ridiculous, right? But it's like I think it's the black chairs, but. Like, this whole setup here, this is screaming very 90s. And it works. It's not a complaint about it. I just feel like this feels like it's a 90s kind of, it's an action film that just happened to have vampires in. And I think that's what works as well about it. I mean, like I say, it still works today. I mean, one of my favourite TV series at the moment is What We Do in the Shadows. You know, it's just such a funny... take on like The Office /
I actually watched the film recently because you recommended that to me, and I had I had no idea. It's obviously set in Welton where my brother lives, and me and Britt had just recently been out on a night out in Wellington, and it was filmed around the same area.
So you would have seen the water around the street now, thinking that you knew where they.
Honestly, I was watching that and I was fucking howling. Because like I just like again that's another thing that's came along and it's a fresh take, you know. And Wesley Snipes is in that, isn't he?
Yeah, he is. I have like the best cameo ever. Well, actually, I would say Haywood's the most probably shocking one, but there is literally like a panoramic shot of like every single vampire you can imagine. You know, whether it be Danny Trejo or Wesley Snipes, are just like literally. This is why people signed on for it, because they're genuinely great at what they're doing. They're not pushing it too far. Like Taika Waititi, in obviously the film, he's obviously part writer of it, and he's just like his comedy. To me today, is probably by far untouchable. You know,
don't eat that chip. I like comedy. Chips.
Yeah. Honestly, it just start watching the series. I mean, there are only I think 10 episodes, and there's only 2 series, so it's not like a lot. But the first one particularly is absolutely like it hits a nail on the head.
Right. There's a scene.
What they're aiming for as well.
There's a scene missing here that everyone screams that should have been on an anniversary. She finds a baby vampire at this point, and she's thinking, "What the fuck?" Because it's all like treated up, and then there's like a massive jump scare with vampire teeth on it, and it's completely cut from the film.
Yeah, because there's a few like quite unique scenes that they were talking about doing here.
Well, to be honest with you as well, going back to that though, when Blade came out, because Blade was an early release DVD, remember, and it was still new at that point, the alternative ending, you know, they slapped that on there. And I just watched that before we started rolling for this podcast. And the Blood God ending, original, when you watch that and you think, my God, it would have fucking destroyed the film. But you get content like that on, and now it probably wouldn't even hit DVD extras. At the moment, I've watched a couple of DVDs the last couple of weeks where it's just had a fucking play button. Do you know what I mean? Yeah. Judgment Night is an anniversary release. It's got a play button. It doesn't even have chapter selection.
I mean, it's just lazy at the end of the day.
Well, it's just, again, it's like some companies aren't willing to, like, I mean, when you listen to the comedy track of this, right? It is about 5 different people, and it's all chopped and sliced. Do you know what I mean? Right. It's not like Wesley Snipes. But did Wesley Snipes sit down and do a whole thing about the whole movie? Probably did, but we're not got. Yeah, well, that's it.
No, yeah, he probably did, but that's what they cut up so much that you would never think he had.
But when you're watching it, it goes Wesley Snipes, Blade, and then he talks for ages, and you think. And there'll be David R. Skyer, writer. Like, who's got that job?
Yeah. I love that look in his face. Like, he's totally not happy, but he just has to do it.
I mean, he's done some great films, Wesley Snipes, but he's done some proper what-the-fuck movies, mind.
Well, I think he's kind of, I mean, because of the things that he does well, he does really, really well, that are kind of forgivable. But if you take away, let's just even say, like, 3 of his top roles, he's not going to be the Wesley Snipes that we know in terms of career. I think, like, because he had Simon Says in Demolition Man, and because he had, I mean, I mentioned, I think, one of the other podcasts, one of my favourite ones is Undisputed, you know. It was just kind of like, he did 2 or 3 really well. I feel like nobody really has to think about all the other stuff he's done.
Well, I mean,
I would still like to see, not to take anything away from Mahershala Ali, but and I know obviously people are going to turn around and say, oh, but Wesley Snipes is so much older now. But I reckon they should have hit, like, because of his absence from movies and that, I think he should have at least gotten a phone call and said, listen, do you want to try and do a Last Blade?
Yeah. Going back to when Mel Gibson should have still been Mad Max, Wesley Snipes coming back as Blade now, and whether it's in the MCU or it's on the edges of MCU, if you just bring Wesley Snipes back as Blade, everyone's going to see it, and this box set will be bought and sold and brought under the radar, right? Yeah. And everyone's, because you don't need to tell Blade. Look what happened with Hellboy. You don't need to tell another origin story. Right, that is like Blade's setup. Because, like, this film, I mean, going about the ending, what's the character Jared Leto is playing at the moment? What's the vampire called?
Mortimus or something like that.
Right, so obviously that's going to be coming out. Mortimus appears at the ending of this originally, standing on the roof watching Blade.
That's right.
And they've cut that out because they weren't sure where they're going to go. And again, it's just kind of.
Morbius, sorry.
It's not. It's not more. It's a quirky tongue tangler. But again, it's just one of those things where this is a Marvel film in its own right before we had this big universe. You know what I mean? And it doesn't bow down or bend down or anything. It's just sort of, I'm Blade. Get out the fucking way.
Well, you could have totally played on the fact that yes, he's a day walker. So at the end of the day, they could have really wrote in something about like how he's like it's so many years, not even like 10 years, it's like literally years and years since this happened, which is why he is actually like he's starting to catch up with age. But you know, like I say, even if they did it, they could have done it smartly. They could have said, "Listen, the title Blade is whoever represents it." So like it could have literally introduced someone new and said like, you know, have a cameo and just say, "Oh, we heard another vampire went by this name" or shit like that. It just like give him the nod, you know, just give him the nod that he deserves. Because I mean, let's be fair, his literally last scene is very much what Nolan did for Batman: The Dark Knight. He fucking just rides off his motorbike and that's it. And I feel like that just seemed like such a weak last scene for such a, like I say, despite what you think about the second or third film, it was to me, I feel like an overall good trilogy. You know, I feel like there's enough for it to like in the second and third one to say that it was a successful trilogy. Even if people don't like Ryan Reynolds in that film.
Well, the thing is, as well, was the third one, the original ending brought in werewolves.
Yeah, well, that's the whole that was the whole thing. I mean, I don't know if it would have been as successful, but the whole Jessica Biel, Ryan Reynolds spin-off that was meant to introduce that. Like they were meant to be not just vampire hunters, but it was going to open up a whole universe of werewolves and all sorts. But it just didn't seem. I don't know. Like maybe the money just wasn't there. Like.
Well, yeah. I mean, totally agree. I mean, again with the Lost Boys and the third Lost Boys, the last scene is like the girl. Oh, I'm a werewolf. Did you not know that? And like they were going to go off crazy. It's like. I mean, don't get us wrong, it's there, but if you look how, like, I don't know how the fuck Underworld went for 6 movies. Do you know what I mean? Vampires versus werewolves, it's interesting, but it needs to be done right.
Yeah. I mean, that's exactly what it's all about. You can't just knock it on the screen and expect people to be interested because, like I say, I watched the trailer for Underworld and I thought, holy shit, this is it, you know, this is going to be an absolute awesome franchise.
The trailer...
Now I watched it there, and I just thought, no, you just totally dropped the ball.
The thing is with the Underworld trailer, one of the best things about that is the introduction of the very rare song to get a hold of called Red Tape. Right. And it's an amazing song, and it's also used in The Jackal, and it's actually on the Jackal soundtrack, but...
Nice.
I mean, I bought the Underworld soundtrack for that song, and it's only on the Jackal instead. But just very clever trailing. But like the letdown of the fucking werewolf vampire hybrid at the end, it was just such a letdown. And that actor Scott Speedman has fucking disappeared. You know, he's just fucking. What was I watching him in the other day? And I was like, oh yeah, he's wasn't Underworld. It was something else he was in.
Was it X-Files?
No, he wasn't in the X-Files, actually. I think Yundo Kerr's been in the X-Files, that's for sure. Oh, fuck. What was it? What was it? Because I was... Well, he was in... I think he was in Lucky Number 11, but he was the partner in some cop film I watched.
Such an underrated film as well, mind.
Once you know the twist of Lucky Number 11, you know it.
Yeah. Oh, absolutely. But it's such a good twist, though. So it's very difficult, in my opinion, to get a twist done right. And like I say, there's some film like they don't even like kind of attempt to hide anything. I mean, M. Night Shyamalan, you know what I mean? He just decided to be that guy that you can't trust whatever you read because you know there's going to be a twist. Where with Lucky Number 11, I had no clue that was coming at all until the very end. I was like, that is such a satisfying kind of way to do something.
Have you seen Nicolas Cage's new film, Set Off? What is it? Score to Settle.
No.
That's got a twist. That's got a twist coming. You just go, what?
Yeah. But is it good though? Is it a good twist, or is it just fucking so out there that you just left thinking, what the fuck did I just watch?
Well, in my credit to that is I was doing editing at the time, so I was paying attention, but I wasn't. And then when I realised what was going on, I was like, fucking hell.
Yeah.
Into the Life, The Familiars. Loads of people got them tattoos.
Oh, well, I was going to say earlier on, actually, when she was sneaking around the weapon, I was just going to say how many people wanted that blade sword. You know, there must have been so many replicas sold online just based on that blade sword. In fact, I would put it up there as popular as the infamous flip phone from the Matrix.
What was it a Motorola Razr or that or something? That's close, wasn't it?
Yeah. Never had one though. Never cared for it. I know people went mental for it, but not for me.
Back in the day, man, the advancements of phones is just scary if you look at 10 years.
Well, I just feel really disappointed in myself that I literally can't really get away with not having my phone on it all day. Like I was probably I'm like that age. I'm 34, so I'm that age where it was probably the last generation where, you know, I went to school and we didn't have like the internet the way it is today, or I didn't have a mobile phone, or you know, I didn't even use MySpace that much. I was on it, and I had enough to justify having it, but I never really cared for it. But like now, I literally left my phone in the house and went to work the other day, and I just felt, you know, just.
You forget.
Like,
I mean, it's just kind of knock on somebody. I mean, I give a shout out P. I seen P today, and he just popped in to see us. I mean, you know, people who are in the Metro Centre and they come to see us. It's like, it's awesome. And I always try to give time to come to see him and all that, but. Again, it's just the old fashioned call on you. You know what I mean? Not like, oh, how are you? Like messaging.
Yeah.
Because I mean, especially when you get.
Tried harder though, didn't they?
Yeah. I mean, it's especially this day and age, especially with all being in lockdown. Like, it's time to fucking reconnect a little place, you know.
Yeah, definitely. Yeah.
Can you check on IMDb and find out what Scott Speedman's been in, because it's doing me tits in? Oh, don't worry about it. It's fine. I remembered. Dark Blood, Kurt Russell. That was it.
Right.
He's Kurt Russell's. It's Kurt Russell's partner.
Right.
That was doing me tits in for a second. That.
I'm going to say you say the name, and I know the name straight away, but no, I couldn't really think of the face. He died.
There's a lot of actors in this who aren't like big. I mean, in the second one, the guy from Walking Dead's the Jimmy Fixit, isn't he?
Yeah.
And you know, Ron Perlman and Donnie Young. You know what I mean? The fucking second one's got loads of massive cast and little roles, and this doesn't really, does it? Have you ever seen the TV series of Blade?
I feel like I love how he just appeared there. No, I haven't. Sorry, I didn't hear great things about it. Like.
Curtis Sticky Jones, I think he did a good job of impersonating Wesley Snipes. Let's put it that way. It just got left on a cliffhanger, mate. That's the problem. It never got wrapped up. It starts off with a TV movie, and then ends with a cliffhanger, and it still gets released. And you know what I mean? It's got no ending.
I've never understood that. I get it, you know, production, money, time and contracts, all that, but I just never understood, like, if you've literally greenlit something enough to do a series or a mini film, and it doesn't quite get the ending, surely that should be like an automatic in any contract. No matter what happened, I get to at least wrap a story up.
Yeah, totally. It's your
it's just one of those things, like, why would anyone, even if it's a failure, put money into something and then just happily go, no, let's just cut it there and then be done with it. It's like, no. It's like the biggest insult to viewers.
Yeah, I totally agree, mate. I totally agree. It's sort of like the complete collection, but don't worry, it's not complete.
Yeah.
It's just one.
Oh, mate, you got your fucking phone on top of your keyboard.
Sorry, mate, I've got my new keyboard. It's got loads of sparkly lights, but it sounds like fucking gunshots going off. Sorry.
Well, I didn't think it was a keyboard at first. I thought it was a typewriter, mate.
Yeah. Nah, my keyboard broke finally, and then I want one with colours on, because when you're editing in the dark, you need to see where keys are. That's my definition of that.
Well, I'm glad people reacted there, mate, because I was just about to say, hold on a minute, the way he's dressed and the size of that gun. I mean, sure, it's America, but Christ almighty.
And now this is before we had big Comic-Con events.
Just walking on as if nothing happened. Yeah.
Well, that's it. I mean, but like now it'll be like, oh yeah, he's dressed for Comic-Con somewhere.
Yeah.
Oh, it's a bit where he gets chases him here in the car, and it's proper like dead over fast and cranked. Again, though, she doesn't come back for the sequels, but Chris Christopherson does.
No, she didn't.
He definitely dies.
Yeah.
Leave him dead.
He's definitely in the Gary Busey.
See, if you go back, someone runs across that rooftop.
Oh, I didn't notice it.
Well, I did.
Well done, yeah. We'll have a quick scan over. I mean, do you think this made money?
Oh, definitely.
Yeah. So obviously the budget estimated, of course, is 45 million, and we'll say worldwide gross, just a little bit, 131,183,530 $. No wonder it got a sequel.
It didn't get a sequel for a long time, though, mate. It's like 6 years.
True. But you know what it is, though? I don't think. I love how they're speeding up because it's totally out of context of what the film's been.
It is. It's totally fucking weird.
Fucking vampire chewing on some random lass in the middle of the street. Oh, why? Only in America. Now, I absolutely love, and I would go as far as saying, probably in terms of like up in the ante, I love the villains in the second Blade. I love that kind of hybrid.
It's fucking Luke Gloss, isn't it? It's Bros.
Yeah.
Like it is. It's Luke Gloss. I mean, that was his fucking breakout role. I mean, he is a fucking prince of low budget films. Him.
Yeah. I know it's probably not, but there's a bouncer over there in the scene that looks very much like Sting. It's not, but as in the wrestler, not the singer.
He only does Christian films.
Because I thought he would have been like the Kevin Nash of Hollywood, at least by now. You know, like not doing any major role, but just happened to be popping up in places.
Well, going back to when we were talking about The Mask, New Line were looking for new horror icons, and New Line were looking for someone like this. And I think when New Line got the rights to this, they were like, right, like they were hoping for a franchise.
Yeah. But I just think they must be, even if it didn't pan out the way they wanted, or even if it's the fact that it's been so many years later, they must still be giggling their arses off like when it came down to like how many people were trying to buy MCU products.
Fucking Baby Metal before Baby Metal was a thing over here. Fucking Casper put Baby Metal on in the shop the other day, mate. I love it how you haven't put Bon Jovi or Clearance Wanting Survival or fucking the best of Fleetwood Mac on again, but mate, like people are walking in and nearly tripping up on people because they're looking at the roof going, what the fuck's that noise coming? I love Wesley Snipes' short arm combat.
Yeah. You know who should be definitely an opponent for, Wesley Snipes should definitely be an opponent for today? John Wick.
Oh no, definitely.
I reckon if you bring in this Wesley Snipes as I know he's a lot older, but like as a close combat, whereas you've got Keanu Reeves doing the gung fu, I just absolutely think they would be able to pan out some serious action.
Well, it was class when they brought Mark Dacascos in, but don't get us wrong, Mark Dacascos is like, I mean, he is looking old, like, but that was, again, it's the same kind of throwback. I would love to see Wesley Snipes come back to the Undisputed series and fight Scott Adkins in the series.
Yeah. Absolutely, yeah.
I mean, he has worked. I mean, he's done a film called Recall, or I think it was called Final Recall over here. It's not a bad movie. The WWE film he did with Seth Rollins, Armed Response, not too bad. So he has been like sort of getting himself back in. He just hasn't had that big Hollywood re-break. It was great to see him in Expendables, don't get us wrong, but you know what I mean? It's kind of...
Do you think there's a lot of trust issue? I mean, it's not like he did anything that other people in Hollywood have never done, but do you think it's because it is still very much hiring a convict? It's still very much thinking, do we want that name attached to our product?
I know, but he's only a convict for tax evasion. I mean, I'm not saying you shouldn't tax evade shit, but I'm saying, like, again, he's like...
You want to tell us something?
Yeah, but like he shouldn't like. I mean, you can see him being a badass, but like, you know what I mean. A lot of rappers have probably done a lot worse, and they've got a successful movie career. Do you know what I mean? You're gonna tell me like Ice Cube's a saint? No.
Yeah, true. Well, I mean, like I say, I don't personally think it's like I say, it's nothing new in Hollywood. But I just feel like it's strange because, like I say, he got out. I think was Expendables the first thing he did when he got out?
Pretty much.
Yeah, because he didn't do much else, did he? Like, he didn't jump in or anything. So I would have said, like, that should have really been the platform, because it should have been a look who's back. You know what I mean? But then, like you say, he's done a couple of, like, you know, smaller budget films. I mean, it could be that that's just what he chose to do. You know, maybe he just decided to lay low. But that's so fucking bright.
He's been in a TV show, you know. That's what he's been doing.
Has he been busy doing TV?
He's in a TV show. That's what he's been doing. But I don't think it. I mean, I don't. It's not. It's definitely not over here in the UK, like something physically bad.
Yeah.
But he's been doing a TV show.
Yeah. I mean, it's a pretty cool ass bed, that, like.
I tell you what, he is in. It's fucking batshit crazy. Fucking Chakra, whatever you want to fucking call it. Spike Lee film, and John Cusack's in it, and Wesley Snipes has got a pirate patch, and oh man, it's fucking mental, that movie.
I remember seeing photographs of that, yeah.
He's in that, and I think he's done that, and he's good in that. I love the fact that Deacon Frost has got fucking rubber ducks. It's class.
Yeah.
Who didn't want that apartment when you seen it?
Well, that's it. I'm just saying, like, even the bed was, like, pretty, like, that's an interesting style. Yeah, I'll go with it.
Sort of the era, a bit of like a steampunk era on here, like that kind of look on some of the lasses.
Yeah. It is kind of like almost that, the whole New York City look is New York, but every building that they've been inside so far has been very, like, futuristic and, like I say, almost like the girl.
Sorry, did you see what was on the telly there?
No.
Mortal Kombat, that's what they were watching.
Jesus Christ.
Yeah, Reptile just came out the body. Again, I've never noticed that until you watch a podcast.
Yeah. Poor sod.
Well, that's it. I mean, don't get us wrong. I mean, I just love the blood look on it, though. It looks proper thick KY jelly kind of thing, like.
Like I say, it's definitely popping off the screen, like.
I love the fucking rubber duck. It's just such a... Again, it's just a subtle thing, but it's because, again, it's so colourful.
Yeah.
It goes back until, like, my first reading book, when I used to spot the duck on the fucking page. Is this where they find Pearl?
Yeah, this is a weird fucking character. I mean, obviously it's part of the comic, so it's one of those that you still feel a little bit grossed out by it.
Poor Pearl. It's a proper weird...
I found it quite strange that obviously upon looking up stuff to see for watching this, and I realised that it was there's a fair, not like a lot of information, but there's enough to justify why it seemed to be a big thing. Apparently she was supposed to be a lesbian, and I just don't really get it. I think there's a lot of talk about like it, but it's just like given that character and what she produces for the story.
Who's the lesbian? Pearl or the girl?
Relative. No, Pearl. Big ass vampire. Supposed to be a lesbian.
Oh God, I haven't told you about the film I watched last night, have you? It's called Without Men.
Aye.
So while Pearl gets fucking blasted to death by the UV light,
yeah.
I bought it in 2013 because I bought it the day it came out. Starred Christian Slater, and I've never opened it until last night, so I stuck it on. And Christian Slater might as well be Anne Christian Slater because he's hardly in the fucking film. And it's about this town of women, and it's the lass from Desperate Housewife, Eva somebody, and she's basically, it's like Latino America, like somewhere near the Mexican border or whatever. And all the men get taken off to war. And so they're all like, oh, and then the priest is just like, well, what we should do is repopulate the village. So the priest goes around having sex with people, and it's just so uncomfortable and cringeworthy because he's like having fun, and all these different women are like, oh my god, oh, I'm a virgin. I was like, what the fuck am I watching? And he ends up running away because everyone keeps raping him. And you think that Christian Slater is in the future, and this story is about in the past because he's reading this book. And then the priest runs in the shot, and Christian Slater's just like, where have you come from? He's like, don't go to that village, you'll get raped. So Christian Slater turns up, and by the time he turns up at the village, they've all turned into lesbians. And I was like, what am I watching? And it was just such an offbeat kind of wannabe comedy, but I was just like, I'm fucking lost here.
I was going to say, was it a cash-in job by the sound of it?
No, I think there was potential for it to be a big film. I just think it was totally like, again, when it goes, because it's in the good, the bad, and the what the fucks, and it ends up being, yeah, what the fuck.
Yeah. It's just like, I mean, like I say, is it like maybe, I don't know, like if you imagine that film was released today, you know, I mean, obviously with all this movement and all these opinions, I mean, literally this is like what really got me kind of, it's just, I was like ready to type a comment and I had to back off. So I've just finished watching The Umbrella Academy Season 2. And it's absolutely fucking brilliant, mate. It's really well done, and it's like not super high budget, but enough to keep it like kind of looking good. And I was just literally woke up this morning, and there was a post on the internet saying how it being accused of being like anti-Semitic, and I was like, what the fuck? So I clicked on it, and there was literally like, obviously, there's a woman in it who's clearly the bad guy. And keeping in mind, through the entire season, 10 episodes, she speaks English, she speaks Russian, she speaks Sweden, and of course she mutters some Yiddish. And so, like, literally, like, there's so many, like, YouTubers and critics online saying how it was, like, kind of, how it was anti-Semitic, saying that the Jewish, because, like, the company that she works for controls the timeline of the universe. So, like, everyone was like, oh, this is bullshit. All they're saying is that the Jews are like in control of the world, not the evil people. I swear to God, mate, the fucking woman is evil, but the corporation couldn't be less evil. It's just like a normal company. And it was just like, I was sitting watching thinking, why the fuck are people so, I don't want to say sensitive, because you fucking believe what you want to believe at the end of the day, but it's just like they're literally asking, like, there's people petitioning saying they want to get rid of the one scene where she speaks Yiddish. And I just like this whole cancel fucking, you know, generation that we're living in. It's just bullshit. I just watch a film, watch a program, enjoy it. If it's not for you, say it's not for you and move on. I mean, that, to me, that's what we used to do. Christ, I've watched some fucking bullshit films and thought, this is fucking pants, I'm not watching that again. Never once did I thought I'm going to get online to go and really complain and tell everybody about it. I just ran on a podcast.
Yeah, you just wait for them. You want to do a podcast night? Yeah, I've got something to say, and I'll get the fucking hate.
Well, listen, but again, I thought that must have been someone behind him, the Chinese bloke. I thought that was someone popular, famous there, but I don't think it is.
Fucking hell. Again, though, like that's setting up the that's the, as I say, he believes in free, doesn't he, David and Koya? The setup of the setup of her in the room, that there, then the payoff at the end.
Yeah.
He does escape here. He gets kidnapped later on, doesn't he? That's right.
I was about to say he's playing it way too cool. I mean, he is trapped, but you can tell he's like kind of figuring out.
Oh yeah, well, Whistler comes and saves him. That's right. I'm waiting. I'm expecting somebody. I've been waiting on you.
Do you think the character Whistler got shortchanged in this film, or do you think he played his role?
Just right. I think he was just right. I'm forgetting who originally was meant to be, but Chris Christopherson as well. He had a resurgence after this, I think, because he's in stuff like Detox, Whiteout. You know what I mean? He's sort of like, well, who the fuck's he? And then, of course, you realise he's quite a big, well, he is a big deal country singer. Was in the remake of Star Is Born. He'd been in Convoy and stuff like that. But again, it's kind of like, again, though, look at what he set up. You know what I mean? It's kind of look like people like Robert Redford could exist in the Marvel Universe in the right era. You don't go, oh, Robert Redford will be Captain America. No, Robert Redford could be and in Robert... You know what I mean? No one knows the character Robert Redford plays, but now that Robert Redford's in Captain America, people go, oh, yeah, like Chris Christopherson's Whistler. Oh, no, Chris Christopherson. It's like... I mean, this is totally wrong, what I'm about to say, but it's like my dad was like, I'll watch Mortal Kombat because Christopher Lambert's in it. No, you shouldn't, because that was terrible casting. But my dad watched Mortal Kombat because Christopher Lambert was in it. It's that kind of casting an older generation in the right and character. And I think Chris Christopherson should have been killed, like left dead in this. He didn't have to come back in the second one.
Yeah. I give you that. I mean, like I say, I think it was just like kind of a backup, wasn't it, really? I think it felt like if something does come of it, then we need someone like that to come back for it. So it certainly didn't feel like there was a game plan, as in, you know, oh, we've definitely got a sequel in the line if it works. Because I think like that's a modern day kind of idea now.
Oh, I mean, he would have got a fucking massive paycheck, man.
Yeah, definitely.
It's like Sigourney Weaver.
It would have been like a multiple film deal, really, wouldn't it? It would have been a 3-film deal at minimum. Plus a fucking shitload of money.
Like Sigourney Weaver, man. Like James Cameron always talks about it. He's on the Aliens commentary. Guns. Well, I was hired to write Aliens and Rambo, like First Blood Part 2. So he wrote both of them, right? At like the same time. He then got the job of doing Aliens. So he went about writing Aliens. So he wrote Aliens with Ripley in it, and no one even thought about thinking Sigourney Weaver if she wanted to be in the fucking film. So they had to bow down to like $1 million fucking paycheck, and that's in the fucking 80s for like at that time as well for an actress. And then obviously she hates guns, so there was a fucking bonus fee. You're gonna have a gun.
Did she have a gun, no?
Well, aye. She has the gun and flamethrower combo.
But that's the thing, though. Like, it's. I mean, I know it's like kind of being a bit tricky, but like,
it's just
really a flamethrower gun. You know what I mean? I feel like it got around the idea that she had to make something. It wasn't exactly a flamethrower that she.
Mate, it's guns in general. It's not just her with a gun, mate. It's guns in general. She's against guns.
Right.
But again, they're just shooting aliens.
Jim Carrey, apparently.
Jim Carrey's a bit wacky.
He's a bit allow, but bless him. He's done his bit. He doesn't have to act anymore. We just accept him for what he is.
I tell you what, that new show he's did, I'm gutted that it's been cancelled, but Kidding is fucking class TV show.
We'll just say that she got a chance to pop his shoulder this time.
Well, again, that's it, and Wesley Snipes is back on a train, and Money Train.
Yep.
I like that film, you know, Money Train.
It's entertaining. I think that's probably the best way to describe Wesley Snipes. It doesn't matter what he's doing, he always seems to entertain you.
That's it, man. I mean, I like him. He's a really good actor, I think.
Yeah.
Fade to black. Boosh. Again, that's a long pause. Is it working?
Yeah.
I can hear voices. Oh yeah, Whistler. Chris Christopherson doesn't look like he would beat around the bush, really, like, does he?
He looks like he could be like stick him next to like Bon Jovi. He seems to like be in the band.
Well, I tell you what though, an interesting one. I wonder if he was offered the role of his brother in The Star Is Born with Lady Gaga. Because, I mean, don't get us wrong, Sam Elliott's fucking class in that movie. But I wonder if they just went to him and went, you know what, do you want to be in like the remake of the remake?
Kind of hope they did.
I remember playing. I fucking hated the game. Like Marvel
Never played the
Alliance.
game. Never played it.
No, there was a game on the PlayStation 2. I think it was a Blade 2 though. But I think it was Marvel Alliance before we even had any kind of the films, and it was like a downward-looking game, and you used to run along, and you used to be able to pick 4 characters, and you used to be running along fighting, and then run off to talk to somebody and all that. And I think you find Blade in a fucking vending machine. And like I didn't even think Blade was in it because like you get your roster and everyone's just like blacked out. I find Blade in a vending machine.
This is why I've always thought, like, and I mean, obviously, the MCU, in terms of finance, can't really do no wrong at this point, but I've always felt like it's going to be such a hard job, like, incorporating Blade into, like, what we have is now with the MCU, because it's such a different style. I mean, as a little bit of a nod to what they did with them in the comics, is that obviously, he actually, I think when Iron Man and Spider-Man fight, obviously Spider-Man's arse is kicked royally, and like Blade like kind of saves him a little bit and brings him back into the fold, and that is like, from what I remember, and it just like it doesn't seem to fit in that universe. I don't know. It's I feel like they could probably do it now better than ever, but like obviously if you imagine like, we always laugh and say, imagine if the Avenger was made like back then in the 90s. Would have been fucking Tom Cruise running around as Iron Man and stuff like that.
Well,
Brad Pitt was Thor. But,
I mean, we had obviously like Punisher came after this, didn't it?
Yeah.
And Punisher was just as dark and gritty as this. Then we sort of got like Knight Rider. Before we got Iron Man, Iron Man was like the first MCU one, but like, you know, you could see someone looking and going, like, but again, you've got to look back to Blade and go, right, this worked. Mystery Men worked. You know, people like comic books. The Mask's a fucking comic book. Like, there's hot property in here. And again, this is where the argument always goes down to. I think whoever came up with the idea and went, right, look, if we take Iron Man, start there, and just like literally take a stove and slowly turn it to 9. Slowly. Over a course of a decade. Not like DC do, where they're like, yeah, put that stove on, yeah, right, straight to 9. Is it cooked yet? No, you're going to have to fucking wait. Alright? Just wait.
Yeah.
And, like, again, it's just about the ingredients, the weight, the build-up, the hype. They give enough time between the entries. But, like, when DC just dropped fucking Justice League, and then Aquaman comes out and it's a fucking prequel, and then you throw fucking Suicide Squad in, and you think, like, there's no it's just like, honest to God, it's like a fucking Rubik's Cube. It's just like fucking just broken, you know what I mean? But again,
I had one goal, as far as I'm concerned, I had one goal, which was catch up with MCU.
Yeah.
Nobody said catch up with MCU. I think even MCU fans really wanted DC to like succeed.
Yeah. As an alternative.
Said, I want an ensemble film straight away. I would have loved them to do the same thing Marvel did and just kind of bring out film by film, build it up, and then obviously that whole climax would have been so much worth it. But
and this,
it was Warner Brothers really. I think that's where it comes down to.
I would have loved it if fucking Cry Little Sister fucking started playing here. It would be fucking class.
That would have been that would have worked.
I mean, I just love this. This is a great fucking. Oh, look at that, man! Black Porsches. Again, I mean, I think if it serves me right, how this guy dies in John Carpenter's cigarette burns. He puts his fucking intestines in a fucking projection booth and watches his intestines go around the camera thing. But with it being John Carpenter, it really like is graphical as fuck.
Yeah. So it's such a clear picture that though. Again, I think it makes all the difference. It like every detail is being shown up.
I think though as well, if I want to look at this properly, I think this has been bleached, the negative, because I mean it's.
Yeah, you reckon?
Well, yeah, it's just like what they did with Pitch Black when they were like, again, digital was there, but it wasn't like they weren't colour grading and correcting films like they do now. Like they were still
Yeah.
doing stuff with like raw negatives where they were like bleaching it and fucking just to get like a style look, a certain style, but such a risk.
Yeah.
I'd be interested to see what Arrow's done with fucking Pitch Black.
Yeah, definitely. That was one of those films I never quite got into until much later on.
Oh, see, Pitch Black, there you go, there's another fucking hiccup. I mean, you've got the original film, which everyone fell in love with Vin Diesel. With that. Everyone, again, an anti-hero done right. The second one is just like, wow, look at this universe. No, we wanted to see Riddick. There's a fucking whole universe going on there. But like on the offspin of that, Butcher Bay and Assault from Dark Athena, the video games are fucking amazing. They are just as good.
Yeah.
They're a first person, but they're just as good as the Batman Arkham Asylum series of how good it is. But like, they've just been lost to limbo. It was great to see them get remastered again. There you go, CGI fire. Oh, fucker.
Just about to say that, yeah.
I mean, don't get us wrong, it's not too bad. He didn't have to explode.
Nah.
I tell you something though, and everyone's going, oh fucking hell, here we go again. I would have fucking cast Corey Feldman as one of the fucking henchmen.
You think likely, yeah?
Well, the thing is, he was in Bordello of Blood, and he's basically cast as a vampire, and it literally laughs at the whole fucking thing. But, like, essentially, Whistler is a fucking... Whistler could essentially be the fucking dad of the Frog Brothers. Just saying.
Yeah, that would have worked really well, actually, yeah. Never thought of it that way.
The grumpy old...
Massive crossover.
Well, that's it, but, like, again, the frogs, you know what I mean? Again, it's just, like... Again, people, like, love vampire films. But, like, rebooting them, and if they don't work, starting again in 10 years' time in a different direction, just doesn't work. Give us the long overdue
Well, this is
sequel.
it, because I'm totally in agreement with that, and I feel like in some way I don't think you can do it without making it a clear reboot and using the same characters and stuff like that. But I think maybe, if anything, we're maybe possibly ready for like a Frog Brothers series, but it would obviously be completely recast.
Oh,
yeah. And I think
no, they tried.
I'm kind of arguing with myself in the sense that I don't think it would work, but I reckon if any time would be now with Netflix or with all these streaming sites.
No, I mean, to me personally, Lost Boys the first, that's fucking mint that when it blows up. It's such a funny thing. Lost Boys the first, to me personally, was a pilot disguised as a third film.
Right, yeah.
Because I think that's where they were going, but unfortunately it didn't happen. Dun, 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 dun. It'd be interesting to see if...
It was 20 years, did it? No, it wouldn't. No, 20 years, 2 years ago, wasn't it?
Oh yeah, I mean, don't get us wrong. I mean, for a fucking 20-year-old film, it looks class. I was just saying, it's not a long haul before we might even see Wesley Snipes on some of these HorrorCon conventions.
I could see it being a career for him. Definitely. I know it's a little bit off subject, but since you mentioned Comic-Con, what do you think of Tim Curry doing a private signing?
Well, I talked about Brittany about this last night. I went, right, you know what? Tim Curry's had a stroke, bless him. You know what I mean? He's... unfortunately, his health looks like it has degraded the last couple of years. And, like, it's good for him because at the end of the day, the fans are going, right, and you know what I mean? He needs to make some kind of living, which he has, you know what I mean? That's fair play to him, you know what I mean? Definitely for the fans, but... I unfortunately got to witness some at the Love of Horror Fair for the Love of Horror with the cast reunion of It, and so basically, I mean, I didn't go and meet the cast of It, although I met a few of them in the queues and stuff like that, and spoke to a few of them. I didn't go and meet them all, and I didn't get a big picture of all of them because it was too much. I like, because like one of them, I was like, hey, your friend, you're my suggested friend on Facebook, and there was like so many people we had in common. And I was like, that's so fucking weird. But like, as I said, like I wasn't willing to pay £90 to have all them sign that on that day, because that's all they're doing that run or whatever. But the thing what I'm talking about is mainly is like I witnessed an incident, and I think security and the management, I think they handled it well, and I can understand where the person was coming from as well, because they were fucking not impressed. I can understand that, and basically what they had is they had all the Tim Curry pre-autograph things for you to pick up that you'd paid for you then to go and meet the cast to get the rest signed. And the guy had said, like, one, the print was bent, but he was going, well, that's not a signature. And they were on about, the guy was trying to explain that Tim Curry's obviously, like, struggling to do what he's doing.
Yeah, of course, yeah.
And the guy was not impressed with the signature. He was going, well, I'm not paying for that. That's not what I paid for. And I'm like, well, Tim Curry signed it, then you're going to go and meet the cast. But, so, like, I understand, like, fair play, go for it, Tim Curry, but the fucking prices, yeah, but again, you know, bless him, he could be on borrowed time, you never fucking know, but
he falls in the same category to me as I felt with Stanley. At the end of the day, the question is, I mean, I don't know about Tim Curry, I haven't really looked into it, but is he doing it willingly, or is this something that's being kind of somewhat pressured on? Because that was the thing with Stanley, you know, it came out, a lot of his family were kind of reaping the rewards on this, and I'll be fair, it is a murky business, because the difference is, I mean, there was a video footage of this bloke who went to the table, and sure enough, he paid his money and everything, but he must have had about 20 odd things to sign, and it was just like, and to me, it feels like something that's a business. And I think if you're taking 20 odd things to sign, it's very, very likely that you're not getting them signed because you want them. It's basically you're going to sell them. But there was like footage of where like he was walking away, or maybe somebody else was walking away, and they could see that like poor Stan, like he just couldn't fucking do it anymore. You know, you looked at the signature and you go, mate, like that's a line. I want him to sign it properly. And it's like, are you so blind to see that the man is like as old as he is, and like he cannot keep doing this? And like I say, for some reason, it just felt like vultures picking away at him. And then obviously the way I see with Tim Curry, like I said, I have no idea what his circumstances. If he's like totally on his own, happy to try his best to do it, fair enough. But I do think the prices are too high, because the reality is people are looking at it as in, I want it because, again, what you said, he's probably on borrowed time. But the difference is, it's like, that's not what you want to get signed for. It's not like, I need to get a sign because I might not get an opportunity. And it might not be worth as much. And it's just always a weird thing with me with that. Like, I feel like, you know, it's like, like you say, it's a murky
Matrix. Pre-Matrix. Bullet dodge.
Pre-Matrix, I could say.
Poor girl goes flying.
Oh, I forgot about that. Jesus Christ. Poor lass.
And interesting as well, though, that like vampires can get out in the daylight. I mean, that was a. I don't think they really go against that there. But no, I agree what you're saying, mate. It's more like, I think it's more the time. There's a company on Instagram called iZombie, or I think stuff like that, and like again, with a lot of people doing the cons, they've been, you know what I mean, we'll be the middleman, but again, they'll probably get a percentage, but they seem to be giving a good service, getting shout outs and stuff like that. So
yeah, definitely. But he only allowed to come out in the daytime now because he got that queen. He's got
sunblock on. It's just a movie.
Aye. Yeah, no, but you're saying obviously I'd like to see them out. They've only just come out because they've only just gotten the queen. That's how I am.
Well, the thing is, this is what.
I haven't always been able to come out.
Well, the thing is, it's just what I want to point out. So again, about 10 minutes ago, they were on the beach. They had full black sun visors on. One of them burnt to death. Then, like, less than 10 minutes later, he's walking around with fucking suntan cream on. I mean,
Yeah. Well, that was the plan, wasn't it?
The blood god. I mean, that, like, literally gets scrapped, but that's essentially what happened.
Yeah. Love a spare gun in the light system.
I like it. You can see them all sneaking around in the background. It's quite... Now, I like something we haven't talked about. Obviously, they live out in the industrial wasteland where vampires wouldn't bother coming that far out during the day to try and get back for the morning, if you know what I mean. That's why they're out in the fucking things, but...
Oh, it's quite cleverly done, like. Especially since he clearly... I mean, obviously Whistler is the badass, and even he was kind of, like, taken back by, like, fuck me, like, yeah.
But even there, like, fucking... Again, that's why the scene just before feels like it's in a totally different place, because we've just seen Blade with Frost.
Yeah. So Frost had literally ran away, met up with his mates, and went straight to Whistler. It didn't seem like that worked, does it? Fuck me. Chill out, man. Frost.
Fucking brutal, that, man.
No,
There's a film with him in called City of Industry with Harvey Keitel. I went under the radar. I got a bit of thing, but I'm forgetting
I
who
think I've seen the cover.
Yeah, it's a red one. Harvey Keitel just fucking punches him to death at the end. Like, no, like, bang, bang, you're dead. It's full on fisting in the face till he's just dead. It's like Green Street when Charlie Haddon fucking gets his head beat in. Familiar.
Like I say, it's like done right. It's like brutal. Cause I mean, like I say, like I say, another shout out for Umbrella Academy. It was a bit hard to watch on one of the episodes because, like, obviously if you're not into it, like they go back in time to the 1960s, but they're all split up, and one of the main characters is a black lass. So obviously she integrates into society. It's been a year. She's now a black member of a movement. You know, trying to kind of win, you know, like kind of equality in that. But at the same time, it's just like this copper is just absolutely wailing on this black bloke, and it's just like it just takes a lot of watch considering like the mimic in the 1960s. Yet here we are today, you know, it's like very, very real circumstances.
This film will always show its age for them leaving a VHS. Play me.
Yeah, certainly, yeah.
Still alive,
Here he is.
but he's
Still
not
alive.
though. The trick of Enton. Is he still? Ah, he's still alive in the third one as well, isn't he?
Yeah. He bites in the third one, didn't he? I think he died in the beginning, didn't he?
Aye, but then obviously we find out that it's his daughter, isn't it?
Yeah, aye. La Magra.
Never just fully comes in. He's got fucking mint facial expressions, Wesley Snipes.
I'm going to say, like, the chosen one, and his face just says, you fucking what?
This is not the Matrix. I think that this and the Matrix got a lot in common. I mean, Morpheus gets fucking severely fucked up, and you know what I mean?
Yeah.
We will break him.
I mean, are we not all just in the Matrix? Is this not part of the Matrix series?
Fuck, I wish they left the Matrix at one. I really do.
Ah, mate. I literally only own the first one on Blu-ray. I mean, I wouldn't go as far as saying I despise the second one. I just think it's a very poorly done sequel, especially given what the Matrix sets up. But then the third one, just to me, it's unforgivable in some ways.
Oh, that's it, man.
It's just, you can't go from like such a unique idea to just pure lazy gibberish. But then again, that's why I wouldn't write things like that, because to be honest with you, I'm the type of kid who I'll start drawing a Christmas tree, I'll doodle a Christmas tree and end up drawing a fucking puppy. You know what I mean? I just don't know when to stop when it comes to stuff like that. So it's, I'd imagine like that's probably the same with these films, you know, someone needs someone in the office to say, mate, you gotta stop writing. You know what I mean? You're going off on a tangent, yeah.
I mean, again, this is pretty epic. For like, I mean, don't get us wrong, both of them deliver, but for it to just be like scrapped, just to be scrapped off that he didn't kill himself, he faked it.
But it's out of character, though, isn't it, really? Because at that stage, he's got really no benefit to make Blade think that he's dead now. seemed a little bit too much.
Go on, Blade. Watch that VHS. I love it how it's slapping it in your face that it's in short play and it's got a time code.
Yep, because that's definitely what every VHS.
I mean, what it's saying is though, if you look at the time code, it was 1 hour 48 minutes. How long was Frost talking for? Because I tell you what, if fucking mini DV tapes lasted an hour, unless you put it on fucking long play, then you would have maybe got an hour 20. Even though it said like 90 minutes, you'd always like, well, you dare and fucking film after that fucking 1 hour 20 minutes. Fucking hell. Right, Frost. Right, Blade, I've got something to tell you.
Imagine if that is like an existing thing though. Hey, we're going to release the 25th anniversary of Blade. It comes with a 2-hour speech from Frost.
Stephen Dorff, though, I mean, again, he turned up on like Bad Guy and Manic Creek Hotel, and you know he's been in a few where he played in The Disastrous Alone in the Dark and stuff, but just this is to me personally his career high point.
Yeah. Well, still on the women, basically. That's shot in my head.
I've got a film with him in called Break, and he's in the boot of a car for the whole film. It was quite cleverly done, like, but it was like, when I look back at it, it's nothing more than a TV episode of like your main star being stuck in a boot for the episode.
Really? You ever seen Buried?
That's what it says. Buried in a car. That was one of the taglines.
Is that essentially what it is? Because I think that like goes a little bit under the radar. Like when it comes to, I mean, it's a fairly standard film, but the fact that they got the one person who is he's a sarcastic bounce off any other actor, and they just put him on his own in a box, and he still managed to pull something out of it. I do believe that Ryan Reynolds unfortunately has cast himself severely in Hollywood now, but at the end of the day, that's not really a bad thing if it's working for you. So.
Ryan Reynolds is a smart motherfucker. I mean, have you seen the film Criminal with Kevin Costner in?
No, I don't think so.
Like
Ryan.
Proper fucking weird film because it's British, right? And you've got like Scott Atkins is in it. You've got a few of the English like naughties. You've got Gary Oldman. You've got Kevin Costner, and Kevin Costner's running around London going cunt. You know, Kevin Costner dropping the C-bomb, right? And Ryan Reynolds turns up at the start of the movie, right? And, like, Ryan Reynolds is the brain that's now putting Kevin Costner. And Ryan Reynolds isn't name-checked at any, like, advertisement. He just turns up. Like he turns up in Hobbs and Shaw. Huh?
When was it?
It was only, like, I would say it was 5 years ago.
Oh, really? So he's, like, quite established as well.
Oh, mate, Deadpool. Deadpool was done by then.
Yeah.
He just fucking turns
well,
up.
Like the Fast... He does the same in Fast and Furious,
Yeah.
Like, he literally just has, like, a fight, like, well, it turns out a bit more, but, like, he just turns up in a random scene, and it's just, like, fair play, like. But then again, like I say, it's working for him, and I think he's got Deadpool as the biggest ace in the hole. For whatever happens in his career now, he'll always have Deadpool to fall back on. It's just too much of a moneymaker, but the reality is, like I said, I do think he's a better actor than just that. And I just feel like, at the end of the day, like, in the last couple of roles he's done, I would honestly say, and even the new one that's coming up, I've seen the trailer for the new one. I forget what it's called now, but he's in a video game.
Oh, it's been going around for a while. I know what you're on about, yeah.
Yeah. And I just watched the trailer and I thought, you know what it is? It looked like a great film. But I will say, it's getting to a stage now where I'm thinking I'm definitely going to go and see it. But at the same time, it's like every single line delivered by Ryan Reynolds, I was like, I could literally shut my eyes and I would not be able to tell you which film it's from. Because it's the same as everything he does in that kind of tone.
That man.
So I feel like he needs to like get a good role where it's just going to take it right out of his element.
I mean, just going back to the film there, he's just blasted in there and glass going everywhere, water blasting away. I mean, this is the first time he's really had a automatic shootout as well, really.
Yeah.
Fucking class, like. I mean, look at that, man.
Again, the white just bouncing off the screen there, the lights and everything.
Look at that, man. Just taking in the fort, man. I mean, it's just kind of like, I mean, brutalism. It's just fucking. I mean, look at that. The gun coming through the waterfall and all that. It's just visually fucking stunning.
Yeah. It looked very Terminator 2-esque, that, didn't it?
Well,
the
yeah.
whole shotgun pointing at the enemy sort of thing.
I'm not going to lie, but that shot there where that was just seen twice was definitely a mirror image. But then here, he comes to people like, alright, it's almost like Streets of Rage, like kind of get the two bosses, and he's like a close contact fight, you know what I mean? It's just fucking class.
But this is very much Demolition Man, his fighting style there for a second.
Oh, totally, man.
You know, when he's bouncing on his toes and everything, it's like a total Simon Says moment.
But again, right? I mean, again, using the special effects coming in, the whole. Again, we were like, fucking hell, his fucking head blew up. But in the second one, like, the fucking running up the walls, doing backflip, and like, there's a bit where it just looks like Mortal Kombat graphics. You think, what the fuck happened there?
Yeah.
Especially when it jumps off the bike.
There was a bit too bright.
Bright like this room. Hello, you're in the Matrix. Imagine that.
Will Ferrell turned around in a chair.
I imagine that Keanu Reeves just standing in the corner. Who are you? Motherfucker, who are you? Like, I don't understand. No. Oh, and then his mum appears. I mean, talk about a chestnut.
Nah, I was going to say this was quite a little bit of a twist in the story as well, wasn't it, when you first watched it? You don't really expect to see it. And
it would have made more.
Sexualized as well.
Yeah, I mean, it would have made sense. Maybe he's in a fucking sequel or something, but
yeah,
the fact that
because he didn't seem to have like mommy issues. I mean, Nelly didn't even know her. He wasn't born, you know what I mean? So I don't really get the reaction he's got now.
She does look familiar, but I don't think it is. It looks like the lass who's in Hard Target, but I don't think it is.
I struggle with that name, to be honest with you. Is it Vanessa? I think it is, isn't it? She plays Alexa Wood in Alien vs Predator.
Oh, that is her, man. She's the fucking main star of that. She's the climber. Aye. I knew she looked familiar from somewhere.
And she is playing the woman. She's playing the voice of Catwoman in the new Harley Quinn animated series, what came out this year, which apparently got really high rate. So she's obviously keeping herself doing a lot of voices, because she did Donna Tubes from. Actually, she did quite a few from Family Guy. So it's definitely keeping her toes in the water, like.
You can see why, like, this film's like rediscovering a different film for like scenes like this. There's so much texture in that wall, but on VHS it was just like, who's talking? Oh, it's Wesley Snipes.
Yeah.
So fucking dark. I mean, again as well, I mean, the thing is, well, what I like about this movie, it's not like they've cast her and she's white, do you know what I mean? I like it like that. But again, that's just like playing back on that. And VHS, you couldn't see them, like.
Yeah, no.
It's like when I did the Relic podcast when I don't know what we were meant to do that night, but it was one night I ended up going solo and doing the Relic, and mate, I could not fucking see that movie, like.
Really?
I mean, I know I do the podcast and like I am now, I'm archiving some footage and stuff like that, so I'm paying attention. I'm like looking at 4 different fucking camera screens at once. But the Relic, I really started to struggle with the podcast, because like solo, it's not like you're talking and I can go off and do something. Like I was just starting to really struggle, mate, to see what was going on in the film.
Yeah. Well, I think the big controversy with Game of Thrones. You know, obviously, if you think of like Lord of the Rings, you think of Helm's Deep, probably one of the best CGI kind of battles that you'll ever see. And the rain and the night and the texture was perfect. And obviously, I don't think you've seen Game of Thrones, but if you had, one of the last episodes, which was like the build up to one of the biggest battles that had been like spoken about. This is literally why they keep saying fucking winter's coming, you know, because this was a big battle. And I swear to God, it was like literally one of the most infuriating things to watch. It was literally jet black throughout the whole thing. You only knew which main character didn't die because by the end they were still there. But during the battle, it was like someone just got stabbed, someone just got headed, someone just got, no, I don't know who that was, and it's just like you just cannot make out what's going on.
Yeah, I remember Brit actually watching it when I was in this room, and she had said the same thing, like it was just so dark to watch, like, but...
Because they do it greatly, you can tell that they're trying to be classy with it, because they do this thing where obviously one of the armies that's fighting have like torches, so they, from a proper bird's eye view, you can see them charging in, but then all you can see is the light from the torches. You can't see anything else, which actually works really nicely. But then obviously the light just start to go out one by one, you know, and it's just like really, you can see they were trying to do something, which is why I always say like it's not like they failed tremendously in a sense that they didn't know what they were doing. I just feel like they just dropped the ball and didn't know what they were doing. They kind of just got themselves a little bit head over heels with style over substance.
Just sitting there in the background there, all the background extras look like Eastern European, like Germans. They're just the perfect bad guys.
I was thinking that myself, to be fair, like.
I mean, even the style that the suit Stephen Dorff is wearing, it's just... There's so much style with the movie.
Yeah.
I love it how he thinks it's his insulin. No, you're not. You're mistaken.
Yeah.
Do. Oh. It just so happened to stick in the wall.
Yeah. Hanging conveniently.
I wonder if you know where this temple is. I mean, this temple was well hidden, like, wasn't it?
Well, I mean, like I say, if we say that, let's not, like, miss the fucking big fucking tomb that is from dusk till dawn. I mean, don't get me wrong, a hell of a shot, but like I say, fuck me, no one ever noticed that.
Howie, man, it's fucking...
You just had to go there, you just had to literally go out the back door, and then you realise you're on like a 60-foot tomb. Fantastic, but still.
Like, the thing is, From Dusk Till Dawn, I remember seeing the second one, that's more of a bank robbery, in it?
Yeah.
And like, the idea of just returning...
Robert Patrick, or something like that.
Robert Patrick, yeah, he's in the X-Files. I want you to check as well. Have a look at this, the actor who plays from Gotham. I bet he is in the X-Files. I was just going to say, with the From Dusk Till Dawn sequel, they should have just been in the tomb.
Yeah, I was going to say. They set it up, didn't they, really? They set the whole thing up, like I say, there's so much more behind it.
But they're obviously bringing Johnny Trejo.
Come back again. But no, like nothing happened.
So have a check of, again, going back to this guy who's from the beginning, who's the orderly from the original. Orderly, or he's a doctor. It would have been great from the cast one, The Lost Boys, as a cheeky head, like. So, there's that guy in the X-Files.
So I'm going to his thing now. What was He is. He's fucking the guy who comes back from check him. He's in the X-Files because he's the guy who comes up to Scully and goes, "I've got a fucking, I don't want Spooky Mulder." Check him. What year is X-Files? Is it 90s, early 90s?
Early 90s, yeah.
No, just there's a lot of fucking shit to go through that also. Just He was in ER. He was in the Three Ninjas, Knuckle Up. I think you might be wrong there.
I'm
I
not.
think I saw an
Nah,
X-Files.
he's in the X-Files.
let's
You
have a-
check him.
Oh, hold on a minute. Agent Tom Colton.
He's in
An
the...
episode called Squeeze.
Yeah. Oh, yeah. He's in the X-Files. I knew him from somewhere.
I like that call back there from that scene, how he's still alive, in a way. Like a fucking nurse mate.
Well, no, it's her ex-boyfriend, apparently. How the fuck did he pull her? Come on. Answers on a postcard,
Big dick.
please. Wow. Some poor way. That was
You
some...
were thinking it.
No,
You
it
were
wasn't.
thinking it. Whatever.
I was thinking a career advancement.
Fuck off. Career advance. He did a series called Medicine Ball as well. You want to watch Vikings, mate? It's certainly not fucking historically correct, but it's fucking so entertaining.
I'm on with
Doing that as
Deadwood.
well.
Deadwood at the minute, man.
Yeah, Deadwood, man. I can't believe I missed the whole fucking reveal of the film. I mean, I've seen it now, but I just remember thinking, how the hell did I know that didn't come out?
Oh, we didn't spoil it. Didn't spoil it. I haven't got that far yet. Should have got a Blu-ray release though.
Mate.
I know why the Blu-ray
Oh,
release is really limited though. Episode 3 and 4 on the Blu-ray are all out of sync.
Oh, really?
Yep.
Bullshit, man. Because it reduced in price a lot, though, didn't it?
Well, it was very limited run, mate.
I remember it being brought out, and I remember sitting there going, "Oh, wait until it drops in price a little bit." I still don't know why I didn't get it, because I think it was like, I want to say it's happy, but I remember looking at it thinking, "Fuck me, that dropped right in price."
Oh,
like,
mate, I mean, I got it for £12 brand new off Zoom.
Yeah, and when you think about how many episodes, it's like
3
2 or 3
seasons.
isn't it?
Yeah.
3 seasons, yeah. But I think there is a kind of good American boxer out there, though. I can't remember if it is American now, but I remember seeing something. I think that's probably the reason why I held off. I think someone did release like a really nice, like kind of a addition to it. And I thought, now that may have to be the case.
A lot of talking at the end of this movie now. She's giving him a lecture.
It kind of slows down at this point. I feel like they're trying to build it up to this big moment.
I mean, talk about putting a switch in somewhere that there might be someone might step on it at the wrong place and trap somebody by accident.
Hey, if someone's done that, they're just careless. She's got a canny, like, kind of full-on role, hasn't she, really?
The woman in white?
For a female henchman.
Oh, she's class.
She's doing it well, like, but...
I mean, this is quite like you don't necessarily get that isolation and the bleeding, and it's almost like they didn't know which angle to go from there to like get the point across that he's been drained.
Yeah.
You see the upward-looking shot of his wrist.
I would have just believed the way we see it. Because we see it in a second, don't you, when all these guys get in their little pods. I would have just assumed we understood what's happening once it happened to them, because you see it go into, like, the little trenches, don't you?
Mm.
But then again, that's not really the best version of fake blood. Like, I suppose you could get away with it and say it's because he's like a deer walker and his blood might be slightly different, but it's very almost pinky.
Oh yeah, it's almost got a paint like that.
Yeah, that's a better way of saying it. Paint. Budget, I suppose. See, that looks alright. That looks like foot of blood. But when it's the shot of his hand.
I don't know, to be honest with you, I think because, I mean, the original ending of this film was meant to be this massive blood tornado. I don't think it fucking needed this. Like, I don't think it needed the whole prophecy.
Yeah. Well, listen, there's such a big build-up, isn't there?
But, like, I mean, you gotta remember, in the fucking third one, he fights fucking Dracula.
Aye, yeah, well, that's it. When I think of the third one, all I ever remember when he stood on the rooftop was like, Gucci goo. I say, what the fuck?
Mm. Oh, you got Triple H in the third one as well, haven't you?
Which I thought he actually played off a good role.
Oh, Triple H. I mean, obviously, he's in the
not
Chaperone. Yeah. I mean, but again, there were, like Stone Cold Triple H, and they were all pushing in there. But Triple H did it while he was injured, I think. But his business has always been in a.
Yeah.
It's like Randy Orton. I think Randy Orton and like stuff like that when they're on. Like, I mean, don't get us wrong. I think Randy Orton's an amazing wrestler, but his promos are like because he owns that character. But like, you see Randy Orton and Changeland, and like you think, fuck me, he looks absolutely huge against Seth Green. And you look at him and you go like, I don't believe you, Randy. Like, there's something very delivered about your lines, and yes, it's a movie, but some actors can do it and some don't.
Well, this is it. I honestly don't think. I mean, don't get me wrong. I think they're going to push it a little further than they should because of who he represents. But I just don't think John Cena is a good actor.
No, I think
from what I saw in Bumblebee, he was just he did not understand the film he was in.
Again,
he was doing Transformers.
Yeah.
Michael Bay had done it.
See, the thing is with John Cena as well. John Cena, like Randy Orton, they are a dimension of their own personality. I'm not saying they're very like that in their own personal life, but because they're in the era where they're not Hulk Hogan, and again, like it's, I mean, John Cena's real name is John Cena. You know what I mean? And he, like, and it's sort of like he's established out there. The Rock, for example, is a character. Do you know what I mean? Dwayne Johnson plays The Rock, and Dwayne Johnson.
They did do that well.
Yeah,
they did do that well when they talked about like it was after I think the first two films, like The Mummy and that, it became Dwayne Johnson.
Yeah. On
the movie posters,
well,
were really like saying you're no longer The Rock, you are your real person.
Yeah, like sort of like, Welcome to the Jungle, like Rundown. It's The Rock. You know what I mean? But like Walking Tall, it was Dwayne the Rock Johnson, and now you know what I mean. It's not The Rock at all. But he comes back to wrestling. It's The Rock, and I think that's what he did well as a character. Steve Austin, I think Steve Austin again. He's another guy who believed in the character. I just don't think like I don't think he was. I mean, he's had a run of films, but I don't think he was right for some films. But again, it's kind of like
there's only two I've seen. One was The Condemned, which I thought was quite good. Bit Battle Royale, basically. But there was that, and then there was another one, and I think it was something to do with bare knuckle fighting or something like that. And I remember watching, thinking it wasn't horrible, but Stone Cold basically was like, he wasn't really playing a character. It was just Stone Cold Steve Austin.
Yeah, it's just sort of like he always he did really well on that, and sexy kiss. No, it's just I mean the wrestlers. I think the wrestlers have just got to be cast right and directed good.
Yeah, like I say, I just feel like someone turned around and said, "John Cena, do you want to be in a Transformer film?" And he just went home and watched every Michael Bay film. Like every Michael Bay Transformer.
I mean, I thought,
I know what film I'm in, and then Bumblebee went in such a different direction that he just stands out, and they're all the wrong ways.
Well, I mean, I've seen him in Playing Fire, and he's good, but again, it's one of those things where, at least he's not.
He might need a couple more goals. I might see him in a couple of years. I mean, if he gets the right roles and that, but I just don't know. I think in Hollywood now, you've got to hit it straight away, or you don't get it at all, really.
It's kind of like a very erotic sex scene, that. Jesus.
It's a hickey, man. She's getting a massive fucking schoolgirl hickey.
He's proper. But again, though, the idea that he's had that fusion of blood, but this whole drop on the head. Yeah. But from this point, he turns into a massive tornado, and like his body even comes out and stuff like that. So.
That's right. Yeah. I think it's hard to kind of really understand what it should have looked like, because obviously that scene is so unfinished as well that it's just like you kind of look at it and think it wasn't going to be great, but at the same time it didn't help with the bad unfinished CGI. Especially when you're talking about like this massive tornado.
Yeah, I like the bit there where the blood drips out Wesley Snipes' mouth and then it cuts the one hitting Dorf in the head. That's really good.
Oh, here comes Raven.
Oh, I mean, this bit. I mean, I don't think this film needed this.
between Dorf and Wesley Snipes at this stage. They should have just been like, Wesley Snipes walks in the room and says, you know, let's get it on, motherfucker. I don't even think you need to fight his mother. This is weird. She's fucking running away, even though she just had lost about 10 gallons of blood.
Oh, she's back up and she's fine.
She should be proper wasted by now, surely. But it's just where they're starting to feel like they have to have a comic book ending. I feel like this is it. I think with Blade it works well as it's kind of a vampire film that just happened to be based on a comic book. Whereas this now seems to be like they wanted to make sure this was about as comic book as you get. And I think that's where it struggles, because obviously X-Men struggled with it when they were trying to be comic booky. You know, a lot of films in the 90s, I think that's why the first run of comic book movies didn't quite work, because people were trying to say, how do we make a comic book film on the big screen? Whereas I think with the MCU, with Disney, they decided to make action film with comic book characters, and that's why it works.
Yeah. Oosh, dead.
Yep.
And then we get, doing a whole Highlander.
Yeah. Told you, man, this is, when that lightning struck down, it should have been Christopher Lambert walk in.
Nah, I don't think we needed the fucking vampire fucking skulls.
Yeah. But again, they were obviously wanting to be like Billy Big Bollocks and show off like all the CGI that they could do. But obviously it looked great at the time.
Oh yeah, this is obviously the alternative ending now we're gone into, rather than him turning into a massive fucking blood tornado.
Yeah.
Be cool if they did a pop vinyl of these two.
Yeah, that would be awesome, like.
You've got to remember as well, was Buffy the Vampire Slayer just ending it? No, Buffy the Vampire Slayer was shit hot at the time, though, wasn't it?
I would say it was probably coming to a close. I think it was like, no, actually, it might
No. I think Buffy the Vampire Slayer it would have just popped up. I love the red eyes there. That's pretty cool. So Buffy the Vampire again. Vampirism's really popular.
Yeah, obviously you're talking about like Buffy the Vampire Slayer as a series, because obviously we already had the film in the 80s.
Oh yes, I love Blade's. You know what I mean. Iron Man stole that one. Like Blade's land in their mind.
Yeah.
Oh, and after all that,
I love that.
and he gets his head chopped off.
Yeah, I could say. Well, I shall bow down and admit that yes, Buffy Vampire Slayer aired in 1997, so it's now a year out when this is released. So clearly they were capitalising on the popularity of that. Because obviously when the vampires do kind of get dusted, as they say, this is very much how Buffy kind of uses this kind of technology.
Wesley Snipes, man, he just fucking shit hot. Like, give him the right stunt guys, the right coordinator, and boom, you've got fucking magic, man.
Yeah,
look at that, just rips someone's throat out. Rips someone's throat out and chucks it to the next guy's face, which is a small detail you might have missed.
Yeah.
But even the sound effects.
The bad guys are really going for the leather jackets, aren't they?
There you go. I'm surprised we never got a Jean-Claude Van Damme Wesley Snipes film.
Yeah, I was going to say, that's interesting, that. I wonder if there was... I don't think there was any beef between them, was there?
Nah, I think, again, though, I think, at that time in the career, one would have took one film, the other one would have took the other, you know what I mean?
Yeah, I was going to say, it's not to say that it all would have been like Stallone and Arnie, but I think there would definitely be like a whole rivalry going on, wouldn't it? Like who gets what role sort of thing, and definitely try to one up each other, I bet.
Didn't realise she was English there, because that's the first time I've heard her voice properly.
Yeah.
To be honest with you, her head doesn't need to explode there, mind.
Well, listen, there's almost feel like they're cleaning house now. It's like, right, we're gonna get rid of all these characters because we need to like get ready for the big throwdown.
Oh.
So like, nice. Oh, there's his sword stuck in marble. I mean, do you know how hard that sword would have had to be thrown to break into marble? Sorry, it just did that.
Wesley Snipes always seems to be like he never really goes for the full face punching. He's always like takes out the body first. I don't know why a lot of people disappeared there because he's just got his knife.
Didn't touch any, did he?
Whoop.
See, I like this. I like how they go back to like that kind of, you know. I mean, I love Star Wars. It's no secret, but I love that kind of, you know, modern film don't do sword fighting. You know, it just seemed like a complete lost art. And I just feel like whenever you do it, it works really well. I mean, even if it's not like a proper sword fight, when the bad guy in Crow, when he's got his knife out, it's like, when he's got his sword out, it just feels like it looks like it's so much cooler. Ooh.
Oh yeah, this is like the whole what the fuck.
Yeah. I just love that, man.
I mean, that's right there is
Horrible CGI.
it's horrible CGI, but that's probably one scene that was mastered of that blood effect.
Yeah. I like how he chopped him in half, he's seen them go back together, and the first move he thought about doing is, I'll kick him in the head. Like, I don't know what you do with that. I mean, I'll be like, well, fuck it, I lost.
It's. I mean, this definitely works better than this Blood God thing.
Yeah.
You know who they'll probably cast as Whistler in the new one?
Bill Bailey. I don't know why, but I just thought of seeing something funny in him was the first name that came in my head.
Nah.
So,
Keith-
how would I do it?
Kiefer Sutherland.
Oh, that would be awesome. Oh, long hair and all.
Yep.
I think I'd buy that. Like,
I mean, look at him.
Yeah, but would he do it though? I think he kind of. I don't know if he's down like that anymore.
I think Kiefer's up for an and role in a good paycheck.
Merrick's. Sorry. Yeah. I mean, to be honest with you, like you say, a good paycheck. Obviously, you know, he did do the Lost Boys. Do I think he would have done the Lost Boys reunion if he hadn't been in the town on that day?
No.
I don't think he would have.
No.
But at the same time, you're right. Like, I suppose if the right opportunity arrived, he's probably not going to be in a position to say no to money, like, especially that paycheck as well.
I mean,
that could be the thing that puts Keith Sutherland back on the map if he wanted to be in an MCU film. You know, just to kind of, it's going to be a multi-picture deal by far. You know,
I mean, if that, he'll just probably get
killed by one picture.
Yeah, because I tell you, a role Kiefer Sutherland's minting is Dark City.
Yeah, I've seen it once, I think.
He's up there. You can get that website I told you about before, iZombie. I think he's $90. But obviously, you've then got to post there, and you've got to pay for your postage back to America.
Right, so it's going to cost you a bit, isn't it? But I suppose it is what it is. I mean, obviously, you know, it's not like you do a convention a very lot, so if you want that sort of thing...
Oh, no.
I mean, to be honest with you, people pay a lot more money than I would ever dream of paying for certain things. But special signature and stuff like that.
Well, this is the scene where the scene... what do you call them? What do you call him, man? Jared Leto standing on the fucking roof.
Oh, right, Mobius, yeah.
That's his name. Fade to black. Oh yes. See, sets up the sequel in Russia, right? And then we get 6 years later. But again, at least it picks up in Russia. That I remember.
Because it definitely references it. No, I did not know that Kiefer Sutherland was in the Fugitive TV series.
Is that the weird 90s one?
No, 2020.
Oh, the new one?
Yeah. Plays someone called Claire Bryce. Because he's in that. He's in a TV series called Designated Survivor. And then really hadn't done an awful lot, which I don't think we need to...
Well, he's been on tour. He's been on tour for the last 3 years, almost.
I know, I was totally going to go and see him, you know. Obviously, he's at this age.
It was good.
I just never did it, yeah. I mean, I've been on YouTube, I've listened to a few of his songs, and I am impressed.
He gave me his album. Hey, cheap plug.
See, cause when you're talking about the red and black there, because that doesn't... It looks good, right? But if I walk in the room now, there's no way I'm thinking Blade. That looks... It's almost like American Werewolf in London, actually, that kind of font.
Red font, man, back in the day, just like maybe he's on a fucking massive 70-inch fucking cinema screen, but not like on a fucking... Not on the VHS. Red font was terrible.
Yeah.
There's no hidden features on this, as it is not an MCU movie, technically, although we class this as its original. I mean, it's a bold choice to put all the font in red. All the font.
Yeah.
So, Paul Ray is back to work, so hence why he's been missing off the last couple of podcasts. So, I don't know, how many burnt pearls out of 10?
Oh, how many burnt pearls? So, I mean, are we taking into account the quality of the Blu-ray? Or is it just simply the film itself?
Well, from what we've just watched now, out of 10, how many burnt pearls are you going to give it?
So if I was to go off like when I first saw it in terms of like as a film, I would say probably it's a 7 burnt pearls, but I would go as far as saying it's an 8 burnt pearls now, because I feel like just what you were saying earlier on, there's a lot to this film that you could have so very much missed because of the colour and the darkness of the film. So as an overall film experience, I would say probably, I would give it an 8 out of 10 burnt pearls. It's quite high up there for me.
Yeah, I mean, I'm going to go 8. I'm not going to go 9 anymore because I've obviously picked up on some of the things like the story. I don't think the ending's right. I like the clash between Frost and Blade. I just don't think we need the whole, especially the prophecy, because again, it must have been something about the 90s because the Matrix has the prophecy in it. I think for when it was made, I think it's stylized, looks mint. It's a nice hybrid between practical effects. Wesley Snipes is just fucking mint. The soundtrack's mint. The soundtrack's mint for, it's an era of dance music when dance music was like sort of really coming up. But again, what I liked about it, it also brought a lot of the Eastern European dance music across to America. But the soundtrack on the CD brings a lot of R&B and hip hop into it, so it was a hybrid. I think Stephen Dorff is class. I do think they could have done better with a few more support cast of bigger names. I know it's maybe a budgety thing. I do think you could have cast... I mean, it's typical at the time. You could have maybe cast Corey Haim as the fucking creepy nurse at the start to come back. That kind of nostalgia crossing over. I don't know. I think... again, when I watched this the other night on this Blu-ray box set I've just got, I mean, they've chucked it out. Yes, they've chucked it out. It's nice to see a box set because there wasn't a box set until that. Because there's always been a problem with the rights to the second one. The second one hasn't been. It was available, then it wasn't available for a long time. And I think it's like it's a really strong first film that, unfortunately, I think time has been a factor, and I think different directors, but for a first movie, bang, and you can see why Norton was shit hot, but then has he done anything since Legal Extraordinary Gentlemen?
I will double check for you, but I don't believe he has. I think I was looking at it early on the week. Where are you at, you bugger?
But I think is
Stephen Norrington. Let's have a look. So director. Right. So in terms of what comes up straight away as known for, you have Legal Extraordinary Gentlemen in 2003, a film called Death Machine. In 1994.
Oh yeah, that was an old one. Stephen Brad Dourif film.
The Last Minute, which is very much, well, it's 2001, but they're still going with even on the poster. I haven't even clicked on it, but even on the poster, it's got from the director of Blade, The Last Minute. So clearly, obviously, they are leaning on that as a way to kind of advertise and sell his product. But the last thing he did, by the looks of it, is something called Harbinger Down, which was 2015. Was not a director; he was a design/sculpture.
Well,
and Creature Crew ADI, so he's obviously into all that.
I believe if you're on his IMDb, I'm sure he was one of the creature designers on Alien 3.
Yeah, it's popped up there now. He did Exorcist at the beginning. He was a sculptor on that.
Yeah.
He was on Alien 3, which I find very cute. That IMDb has literally wrote Alien 3 as in Alien, and then a really small 3 next to it. I don't know why that seemed to be a thing to do. But he was also Creature Effect Crew on Aliens as well, so not just Alien 3.
But
those were the only, the film I mentioned earlier, those are the only 4 films he's ever directed.
Right, so yeah, he sort of, at the end of the day, it's his last director film, it's Sean Connery's last film, isn't it?
Yeah. So his biggest credit is down to makeup department, which he gets 8 credits for. Visual effects, he gets 3, directors 4, actors 4, writers 2, art department 2, music 1, producer 2, edit 1. Miscellaneous crew 1, and thanks, he gets 2 for that. So really, visual effects is actually probably what makeup department is pretty much what he's going to get kind of remembered for, I'd imagine.
So basically, Blade...
He was involved in Gremlins.
He was involved in Gremlins.
Uncredited though.
Well, to be honest with you...
Special makeup effects.
He basically hit the nail out of the park. He fucking absolutely nailed Blade, because Blade's an amazing film, and unfortunately...
Well, yeah.
Unfortunately, he's succumbed of the Hollywood factor like Richard Stanley. There are extreme talents, and it's just... I think there's just too much pressure when you make a movie. You know what I mean? Especially if you call it directed, because at the end of the day, producers, writers, stars, actors, agents, talents, assistants, they're all coming to a factor, like, but... You're the name who makes the film. He hasn't even done the commentary on the track, because that's Wesley Snipes, Stephen Dorff, Goya, Theo Van de San, the production designer, which is Kirk. I don't even pronounce his second name, and producer Pete Frankfurt. So they haven't he hasn't even sat down for the commentary. Do you know what I mean? So.
Nah, yeah, that's it. I know it's a little off subject, but. It's just because I was looking at it before. It really does annoy me. I mean, it wouldn't have saved the film at all, but it really does annoy me that they brought Keith Sutherland back for Flatliners and didn't use the same character.
Oh man, yeah, totally. I was like, I have not watched the new Flatliners, because when I said they were making a new one and Keith Sutherland was on IMDb, I was like, that's gonna be mint, and then now it got left on the cut room floor. Why would you do that? But then why? If you got put in the cutting room floor, that's fair enough. But then to put it as a DVD extra, what's the point?
Yeah, well, it's like they know you want it, but it's not good enough to give it to you, so they're just going to give it as a cheap little throwaway.
Nah.
So that could have been so much more.
Oh yeah, totally. I mean, it's like Hot Tub Time Machine 2. I'm literally there. In 2016, I did it for The Good, the Bad, and the What the Fox, and it's actually in the new Christian Slater, Good, the Bad, the What the Fucks, because I crossing over John Cusack. But like, I watched Hot Tub Time Machine 2 and I quite enjoyed it, and I was like, right, you know, it's the first one I think's brilliant. The second one, it's trying to follow Hangover, but like John Cusack is totally missing from the film. But Christian Slater pops up in it as a game whole shows. It's quite funny. Like, and at the end of the movie, he comes like basically it has this massive montage, and it's basically saying in a flash pan that we're not going to bother making a third one. Here's all the ideas that we had, a big spoof, hardy harder harder, see what happens with this one. If not, but it's wrapped up. Now, if you watch the uncut version that's only out in America, at the end of the movie, John Cusack turns up and shoots one of them in the head and says we need to go back to the past and fix this, and leaves it open for a third one. And like, you get, why would you fucking cut John Cusack out the fucking movie?
Well, this is it though. I mean, did they cut him out of the movie?
He's not even in.
No. Was he not? Yeah, but was he not willing to play a ball?
No.
You think he might have been asking for too much money?
No, he turns up. No, in the American uncut version, he turns up at the end, as in like brand new footage, and fucking kills one of them.
But that's what I mean though. Like, is it not like, I don't know if it's recorded or whether it's on the internet, but could it have been like, oh, well, we can't afford you for what you want, but we'll give you, I don't know, like 20 grand if you just turn up in a little scene at the end.
Well, no,
scene. That's what I'm saying. Like,
no, he was like,
cut him out.
No, but John Cusack was a producer of the first one, so he had a lot of investment in it. So like,
but this is why that's why I'm wondering if there's something more to it. Because it wouldn't be that he just wouldn't turn up, would it?
No, I mean, John Cusack works constant, right? So like, he's definitely like they've definitely pushed the second Hangover out really quick. John Cusack was probably doing something else. He's turned up, he's filmed his scene, it's set up for the third one, and when it eventually got released, we get John Cusack completely removed from the film, except for a flashback of the original and a picture, and we get the cast going back, and then we see this massive montage, like Deadpool and Deadpool 2, when he goes back to the past and starts fucking everything up, and then they wrap it all up and just. I mean, it's nicely tied up to go, we're not going to bother making a third one, but to have that complete scene of John Cusack removed from the film, I was just like, what the fuck?
Yeah, I get that, yeah, I understand that, yeah. It is a bit of a fuck, like, to take that bit of footage and, like, just not use it at all is a bit bizarre, like.
Well, it's been rumours, as we're talking about this, there's been rumours for a while of, I mean, who was playing this guy at the end of Blade who was cut out? I mean, that could be, it might turn out that someone was really famous. I mean, for all we know, it's Jean-Claude Van Damme standing there. Do you know what I mean? And like, we never fucking know. But there's been rumours for ages. Well, that's it. But there's been rumours for a while that that film Cursed by Wes Craven, there's a completely different cut of the movie. Like Corey Feldman's in it, and there's loads of other actors in it, and apparently it's a hard 18 rated cut, and apparently that's sitting in fucking isolation somewhere, and they decided to release a 12 cut of the movie, missing half the fucking cast. No wonder when I watched that movie, and I was like, is that werewolf just give the fucking middle finger to Bowling for Soup? What is this movie doing? Is this a Wes Craven movie? Like, fuck me.
Yeah. Well, this is it. And that's what, I mean, like I say, this film was, like I say, going on at the beginning, saying how the guys weren't getting along, like, and it is somewhat of a massive part of the film that didn't get used in this. Like, talking about, like, all these cuts that were, like, written, they did not know what this film was going to look like at the end, because obviously they were conflicted all the time, like, fighting over what scenes were going to make it and this and either. So I feel like that's why I feel like it always gets a little bit of a bonus from me, that despite all the bullshit, they still managed to put out a decent film. But I'm still always curious about, like, what's all this stuff that didn't get put in. You know, what's all the scenes that they were so conflicted over that they were arguing all the time.
The thing is, as well, good example of that though is The Wicker Man, because like you look at new films now, and it just like it gets preserved. No one fucks around because of fucking lawsuits and all kinds of shit. Like, but The Wicker Man, the only way they have the alternative cut of The Wicker Man. Is somebody kept a hold of the original one where they tried to get it distributed in America, So they sent this
Right,
reel
sure.
over, and that's the only reel exists of that cut. That's why on the special edition, when you see bits of it and it fucking drops in quality, it's because the only available negative is the fucking copy of the negative. The original footage just doesn't exist. Do you know what I mean? So it's like, but again, going back
It's out there somewhere.
when we finally get back to Blade on this fucking epic rant at the end, the whole baby scene that Goya really wanted in for a big jump scare and like give it a bit more backbone, that, you know, the studying and testing the weapons on this baby and like a massive jump scare of the movie, just like the head coming out the boat of Jaws, just did not even see the light of day now, even on the Blu-ray release. You know what I mean?
I think it would have made the film darker, like. to
Wait,
go with that
mate,
sort of
it's an
idea.
18 rated film. It could have gone a lot darker than it did. Do you know what I
I
mean?
don't
But
feel like an 18. It's just a modern 15 though.
now it would be
You
a
know what
50.
we
I
got?
mean, I mean, fuck,
Yeah.
I haven't actually. Hang on, I'll just pop the disc out and I'll tell you, because I haven't even. It's still an 18. It's actually got one of the brand new 18 stickers on.
I was going to say, I'm like, Mike Steelman's got 18 on it, but I will say, like, I don't know if it's because we're being desensitized or what, but this just feels like it could be a strong 15. There was nothing about that film that was 18. I mean, even the blood, you can get away with saying, no, I'm not being funny, like, but that blood was so CGI that nobody needs to, like, no one believes that that's real blood. So even kids would watch that and go, well, that's not real blood, is it? You know, it's vampire blood, you know, just pretend.
I mean, I've always
but
agreed
it's
with
gonna be-
the American system. You know what I mean? I think 12 and 15, with that kind of like random age. If you're gonna, I mean, I've always believed in England there should be an R21 rating. Like, if you get an R21 rating, right, that's fucking right. That's it. Like, you're 21-year-old. If you don't, if this film's going to offend you in any way, and you're 21-year-old, what the fuck have you been doing? You know, the internet should. You know what I mean?
Yeah. But like all these ratings are like getting, it's all like I say, desensitized and kind of, it's getting thrown to the side now because like, even if someone comes up with a fucking masterpiece of a horror film, you can see in most quality films now, they're doing their absolutely damnedest to downgrade it to 15 because the bottom line is the only thing they're really looking at is, well, we need to get that demographic.
Well, yeah, Expendables 3, perfect example. They took
exactly,
away that
yeah.
hardness of it.
It had nothing to do with whether the quality of the film needed to be that way. It was just the fact that I thought, well, hold on, we can get at least another couple of 100,000 people to watch this film if we're making it 15 because
Yeah.
we've got different people going to watch it. It's like bullshit. That's why I always appreciate like older horrors. I mean, there's not really a horror film out there that I really love that takes you past 2000. And I would actually being generous because, to be honest with you, the only horror films I've ever really loved, if you go really like twisted horror, like kind of the Hellraisers and stuff like that, and they would just, you couldn't do. I mean, yeah, well, actually, you say you couldn't do it. They tried doing it, and that's why the sequels don't work that well because they're not going balls to the wall with the whole idea. I mean, you think of Hellraiser when that guy, I think it's Hellraiser 2, when that guy's like messing around with a statue. And then like, the next thing you know, he's got fucking hooks fucking dragging him out all over the place. Like now it would be fucking cuddly toys.
To me, I mean,
Nobody wants to like take it to the level where a horror film, if it needs to be that way, don't get me wrong, don't go out and go and fucking make a ice spit on your grave just to fucking make people feel sick about themselves. I'm talking about like doing a really good horror film that actually is like, this is the idea that I have and that's what I want to put on paper. Rather than being like, okay, this is the idea I've got, but the studio want to do this and they want to do that. Like, that's why I say Tarantino's always really good at what he does. I always believe that whatever gets put out there, Tarantino put his stamp of approval and said, that's my film. He didn't make a film and then go, right, the studio's done this, that, and the other to change it.
well, that's it as well. I mean, at the end of the day, horrors used to be, oh, it's a horror, it's 18 or 15. There's some fucking dramas I watch and I'm like, fuck me, I wasn't prepared for that. That should be an 18. Like Blue Valentine, that should be a fucking 18 because of like how fucking, oh yeah, it's fine, you can watch it. Have you seen how depressing that fucking movie is? Like, that's the kind of shit that should be like 18 rated, just in case it triggers someone off at an early age. Do you know what I mean? It's like Boys in the Hood, 15, fine. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
Stand By Me, I would honestly reclassify Stand By Me as a 12 because I think it's something you should see in an earlier age.
Yeah.
Like The Lost Boys, still a 15. It does have some quite startling images, But again, it's kind of like you look at some films where you go, maybe the Titanic should be a 15. Why for? Because fucking everyone dies in a fucking it's a bleak film. Like people sitting in the beds knowing that they're going to drown to death. It's like fuck me. That's quite startling for a kid to watch. Do you know what I mean?
Well, that's why it's got me kind of curious because there's been a few rumbles in Hollywood talking about doing a new Titanic film.
Shut up. There's no point.
That was my first thought, though. What if they did do that, though?
Right.
What if they didn't do an over-the-top love story? What if they turned around and said, listen, we're going to show you, like, not like horror, but, like, literally, well, I suppose that's the best word, the horror of what it would be like if you were on a fucking ship and you knew there was no way you're making out. That could be done on such a serious level.
Then don't do it. Like, I mean, do it like Poseidon. I mean, when I seen Poseidon, and I didn't realise Kurt Russell was going to bite it, and when he bites it, I was like, fuck me, is this a 12? But, like, going back... But, like, why remake the Titanic when James Cameron has got the best cameo ever in the Titanic? The Titanic itself. Do you know what I mean? They fucking put cameras inside the Titanic. They found the Titanic and put cameras inside the rooms. I don't think people realise, like, oh yeah, it's just a love story. But no, James Cameron was obsessed with the Titanic. Do you know what I mean? He's obsessed. And he actually gives one of the best commentaries on a film because he just starts talking about the Titanic.
I mean, even looking at it today, Blu-ray and everything like that, I mean, actually, even if you look at DVD, that film still looks great. I mean, obviously, there is some, like, little bits of CGI that, you know, you can see that's quite obviously dodgy, but the reality is he did a fucking great piece on that film. You know, like I say, and I don't think anyone even... I think today you get more people, more controversy over it. But the fact that he had to make kind of a film and figures he's smart enough to know, would people have been invested as much as the Titanic film had there not been a heartthrob like Leo and Kate Winslet, who were having this sort of star-crossed lover affair? They probably wouldn't have made the money, mate. You know, nobody's going to watch a film where, like I say, there's going to be no real Hollywood actor who's going to be like, you know, the love story or the main story. Like, the Titanic should be the main story.
Oh yeah, I mean,
it should be about, you know, somebody chick getting her fucking titties out saying, "Can you draw me, please?"
Well, I mean that's it. I mean, we'll just keep wrapping it up with the Titanic there. But like, one of the funniest stories about the Titanic is Bill Paxton turning up. And the Ghost of Abyss, and he turns up and James Cameron's like, I just hop in there, and he went, hop in there. And Bill Paxton went down to see the Titanic, and the documentary's fucking class because he's just like, I had no idea what was going on. I got a trip down the Titanic just to do some narration. You know what I mean? But like, you talk about like films that if you were going to remake Schindler's List, what's the point? Steven Spielberg.
You don't touch stuff like that. Like,
again, but you shouldn't touch like the Titanic. Like if anyone like, I mean, what? Oh yeah, remake Raise the Titanic. What? Do you know? Like, there's certain films come along.
You can't compare Schindler's List with Titanic, though.
No, I'm saying there's films that come along every decade that should not be remade for another 50 years because at the end of the day, the technologies in films like that, like again, Stand By Me shouldn't be remade because it's a perfect telling of a childhood of that era.
Oh, absolutely. Yeah.
There's no, like...
I mean, now with Stranger Things is pretty much that, but on a more sci-fi level, which that's why it worries me that shit like that might come out one day, where they're going to look at that fucking wolf kid and say, oh, you can do everything apparently, so we're going to make you the new Stand By Me. It's like, no, that shouldn't be touched.
But like, if you look at Robin Hood, Prince of Thieves, a nice story, but how many times has Robin Hood been redone? I mean, there's a lot of like... Okay, that's a bad example because we're talking about more. Like, was it too soon to have a Trade Towers film when Nicolas Cage did it with Oliver Stone? Because Oliver Stone is so blunt with what he does, and you think maybe he's to honour the fallen people in it, and it is a very... But again, was it still a bit too... Because when you live through it, it's a little bit different. Do you know what I mean?
I feel like it's the most American thing that could have happened is literally because the bottom line is it's sick and I get it, but somebody was sitting there probably days after that had all happened and thought, we need to get some rights to this, we need to make a film out of it. I know. And that's what America does, and it's capitalising on not only like, I mean, don't get me wrong, they might be doing it in turn to shine light on the victims and make it like a thing, but it's not, because the bottom line is nobody in Hollywood sitting there thinking that. People are sitting there going, fucking people are going to eat this shit up, like, this is going to make money. But then again, I don't even know if it was that financially successful.
No, it's just...
it was a standard film, really. I watched
but
it.
if you look...
Like, I get it.
But if you look how long it was till they make a Titanic movie and go, right, it's time, let's tell a story, and let's put some fabrication into it and make a film. And it became one of the biggest blockbuster movies ever made.
You know what could have worked though? If you could do Trade Center, I think we're past it now, unfortunately. But what might have worked really, really well, and it could have played on the idea of celebrating not America or not the victims on the plane. It could have really celebrated the firefighters, and I know that's what obviously Nicolas Cage's film did. But if you did it with Steve Buscemi, that could have had a completely different meaning. I mean, this is a guy who was a firefighter, who literally, in that moment, decided to, I don't know how it really works, but like, I'm going to use the word re-enlist. He basically just fucking puts the uniform back on. This is like a Hollywood actor who like literally puts his uniform back on and then just jumps in with everybody to start rescuing people. And I think if you'd done a much more like dramatized, but like kind of almost like a kind of serious nod to like what it was like psychologically for those who survived it, i.e. firefighters, and the days that they had to dig for people. I feel like they could have done a lot more with that than just being an action film, because Nick Cage just made an action film, that's what it was. I mean, I might have been stuck in a hole for like God knows how long, but it just didn't feel genuine. It felt like a Hollywood version of a big accident, and it was just like, I'm not feeling the love there at all.
Yeah.
I think Steve Buscemi could have.
I mean, to be honest with you, I think the firefighters actually Nicolas Cage are playing are real life people, because I had just recently watched that. But I mean, not to take away. I mean, everyone remembers where they were when 9/11 happened, but it was more like that's the same kind of thing. It's just like films like shouldn't be remade just to introduce them to a different audience. I think films like Jaws should be shown to another generation. Like The Goonies should never be remade, because you don't need any CGI enhancement. Maybe the fucking ship doesn't look great, but when it was done and how it captured. But when you see that at a young age, it's going to live with you, because you're going to remember films like that. It doesn't matter. It doesn't matter how many years later. When you see someone at an early age and you're captivated by it, that's enough. Yes, the shark in Jaws doesn't look great, but it still scared the fucking shit out of you as a kid, you know what I mean?
But you know what it is though, like, I call bullshit on that. I think to this day, there's nobody out there sitting there going, the shark does not look good. I mean, don't get me wrong, does someone have to explain to someone that's not a real shark? Because if it is, you've lost the fucking point altogether. But to me, watching that film again, I think, nah, fuck that, Bruce is still real to me.
He's real as fuck.
A hell of a creature. But I get it, obviously we all know there's obviously, if you pause it in certain places, especially Blu-ray, because it's still crystal clear that you can see certain things. But I know they've hidden a lot of stuff as well, mate.
I mean, we're going to quickly talk about Jaws. I mean, like, the shark is fucking terrifying. It's a real ocean. It's done. It's been done to perfection in an era where you couldn't just go like you're looking like the shark is not working. Like, Jaws is just phenomenal. It should never been remade. But then you see Jaws 3, and Jaws 4, when the shark breaks through the side of the boat, and then you can see all the wires just hanging off to the side as the shark tromps for 2 seconds, and you think, Howie, man, like you like the art of passion.
Well, you haven't got Spielberg behind the helm anymore, have you? It's just basically, again, it's a lazy Hollywood thing where they already know it's going to be successful just because of the name of it.
Exactly.
And all they want to do is just run it to the ground until it stops making money. And I believe, like I say, stuff like that should be more protected. At the end of the day, I think like if Spielberg turned around and said, right, I'll do this film, but only if there's a clause in there where if there's any sequel ever to be made, I have to sign it off.
Well, that's why
I started.
I was just going to say, that's why if you get a Jaws box set, I've got the Jaws box set, you only get 2, 3 and 4 in there. You never get 1 to 4 in one box set.
Nah, not at all. Nah, they're never going to put it together like that.
But no, it's stuff like, if you look at smart remakes where you look at Creed and go, right, that's fucking brilliant because now Rocky will live on for another generation and done perfect. But going back away like history and cultural films of events that should be remade, I mean, it's kind of like Titanic definitely doesn't need touched. Schindler's List doesn't need touched. Just these times, you know what I mean? It's.
See, Godfather. I mean, I don't think anyone ever says we should have a new Godfather, but I think it should be in the list of things that doesn't need to be remade.
Goodfellas.
It's kind of one of those things.
Is a film that doesn't need remade. It's a true story, well, based on a true story, which is terrifying, but it's done perfect. It does not need remaking because it's captured perfect.
Yeah, absolutely. It's timing as well, though. I feel like a lot of films like that, I watch film today, and like, say, you mentioned before, Goonies, like, to be honest with you, give us the best kid actors in the world, you're not going to recreate that because it's an 80s thing where you can get away with certain dialogue, you can get away with certain kind of setting that work well for the era. Like, I'll put my hand up and I will say there's a lot missing from it, the remakes. And don't get me wrong, my biggest rant is that obviously Pennywise is too terrifying. They made a monster movie. At the end of the day, the whole reason Tim Curry as the kind of creature is, disguise himself as a clown is to entice children in. Don't get us wrong, I'm not fucking going anywhere near that clown in the New Witch. You know, he's just a fucking psychopath, whereas, like, at least with the Tim Curry, if I'm a child and I see Tim Curry like that, because of the era, you don't expect him to be perfect because, like I say, when you look at 80s clown, or just look at anybody's Easter picture in the family album and look at the fucking Easter bunny, they're looking fucking creepy as shit. But you kind of accept that's because of an era. Whereas when they made this remake, I think the actors were good, and you know, even the older actors when they did McAvoy and Bill Hader, they were good. But the reality is they missed something out of that film, which was like kind of the magic of like the 80s. And yeah, some people will say like the TV movies, and it doesn't count. And like I say, it's not as good for many reasons. And yeah, if you look at the book, probably not. But then again, fucking Willy Wonka and Chocolate Factory, I'm fucking amazing film, and Roald Dahl hated that. So I don't really buy into the whole idea of people going, no, Stephen King hated it, so that means it must be bad. It's just like, no. It's an era where you did something and you can't recreate it. Not in my opinion. Anyway.
It's like The Shining.
I feel like.
It's like The Shining's like, they probably would have tipped around for years to remake The Shining, and you put that on and you just, you feel isolated. There's something eerie about that movie. And then you look at Doctor Sleep and you go, right, it was time for a sequel of The Shining because the kid has grown up. There's enough time.
Yeah.
Not to like make a film and like, oh, it's set 10 years later and just fast tracking a story. Some stuff needs time. Like I've always said this, it's time for a Big Trouble in Little China 2.
Absolutely, yeah.
Because this is the right era, like the Stranger Things era that we're in at the moment. Big Trouble in Little China 2 is a film that could really work as a sequel. Bill and Ted, I want to give Bill and Ted all the chance in the world because it's the right time for Bill and Ted, finally. But certain stuff, like when you say remake the Titanic, no, it's done, it's dusted. Blade, once again, we'll finish this podcast by coming all the way back to Blade because we're still recording. Blade, Wesley Snipes should still be Blade. It would work bringing him back now and giving Blade another film and bringing him into the Marvel Universe or whatever.
Yeah.
Right, after that massive rant, before we offend a load of people, but again, it's just a podcast, remember that. We'll be back for Blade 2 and Blade 3. Paul Ray will be back. Matt Davies says he will return when he gets some more time because everyone is back to work. Jack and Sluggy will be back as well, and Brit's always around. But yeah, for now, thanks for listening. Goodbye for now.